Hey everyone, welcome to the episode of Painbot's podcast. I'm here today with someone else again. I'm here again with Coach, aka Mr. Annual, and we're going to talk about the Guilty Gear dev notes. So reveal yourself.
Oh, hey everybody! Yeah, it's me, Coach. And yeah, Arcsys just dropped the new dev diary like the day after we did our last stream. So Painbot's like, yeah, man, get back in here.
Yeah, I wasn't about to let this shit go because the fact that it came out the day afterwards kind of was, come on, I could have used this because a lot of things I complained about were actually talked about in this thing. Like it was like the second it's almost like that last one was is no point. Some things were taken care of that I was complaining about, and I was saying if they don't do this, then like there's things they were like, hey, we looked at this and this is this now. So it was almost like, damn, I wasted my breath a little bit. But the rage was real, so at least that was authentic.
Came from the heart, man.
Yeah, I was pissed. But you know, these notes, I'm pretty happy that these days we get notes at all. Obviously, before the best we could get was frame data, and then no explanation, and then that's about it. And no hitboxes. Hitbox change. no fucking like anything.
And that's even if you got the frame data. Not even we made this faster.
Yeah, we sped it up. All right. Thanks, I guess. We could use some numbers here. But yeah, they released these dev notes afterwards, going over all the. I think it's mainly just from the survey. All the information here is just based off the survey that everyone gave after the last beta, and it looks like they actually looked at it hard because a lot of these changes probably wouldn't have happened if people didn't do the survey. And you know, everyone wants this game to be the best it is, the best it can be when it gets released, because we don't want another sinker. We want a good fighting game to take off. So everyone was pretty vocal, which was good. But yeah. So this is from the open beta test, and it says from every language they took about 51,000 responses. That's pretty good. That's a lot. That's a pretty big pool of people. I don't know how much that is spread across the world. I don't know how many people played the beta. Like I don't know how many people played the. There's no telling. I mean, I don't know. There was like 200,000 people playing the beta or what. But 51,000 seems like a pretty high number of responses for a beta for a fighting game, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Because just think about it. We don't even have that many people playing any fighting game right now actively on Steam. There is no one fighting game on Steam that has that many people playing at the same time, or even collectively. I don't even know if between all the versions of on every console, if they have that many people active playing a single fighting game. So that's a lot of people in my eyes. Now, the first question they went over was actually which character that people used during the test, and it looks like everyone played Ramlethal or Giovanna or Sol or Kai in some capacity, because the Japan was Ramlethal, Sol, Kai, Giovanna, Nago. Asia, Sol, Ramlethal, Kai, Giovanna, Nago. North America, Ramlethal, Giovanna, Sol, Kai, Nago. South America, Giovanna, Sol, Ram, Kai, Nago. Like Europe, Ramlethal, Giovanna, Kai, Sol. It's like everybody played those characters. Every single part of the world played those 5 characters the most. And obviously it's because, I would assume it's because, I mean, you may or may not agree, but it feels like it's obvious because Ramathal's the best. And then Sol and Kai, because they're the Shotos, introduced, like the most popular, right? They're the main characters in the story.
And you got the people on the box, yeah.
Yeah, people on the box. And then you got the new people on the box, Giovanna and Nago, right? So yeah. It makes the most sense that those were the most played, because Giovanna and Nago are the new people on the box, Kai and Sol are the older people on the box, and then Ramathal. So, you know, that makes sense. That's not too crazy. And the rest of the characters, it's not like they're boring or anything, but those characters are just in line. Those are like casual, and then the people that are interested in getting good, they probably want to play the new characters to see if they're good. So it doesn't really go against what I would believe. Because right now, I'm also looking at this list to see what my intuition is wrong on and what I believe is true or not. Like I want to see if there's anything my intuition is off on. Because I have like a general consensus on how people think and how they make decisions, like their general populace. So I want to see if there's anything that's like a curveball. But for the most part, no. So, and then there's like the next question is, which character do you like the most in Strive? Is the same characters, except for some reason in Oceania, Potemkin's the fifth. So
yeah, well, Amelia made South America. And you got May in Japan, so like that's where you start seeing the weird regional differences. Sort of like when you go down the list.
Yeah,
you see May Shine, and then you see South America, Milia, and then you got Potemkin and Oceania.
I would have hated to play in Oceania. That's where the Potemkin mains live. But yeah,
you the dangers, man.
This is definitely where the preferences came up. This is May, Milia, Potemkin. But then, for the most part, everyone else played the main characters, right? The 4 slots are allocated to the box characters. And then you have a little bit here and there where people are like, you know what? This area just happens to like Milia more. But, yeah, for the most part, it's practically identical to what characters got used the most. But, yeah, I love that. I love right beneath that, the guy Katana's like, yeah, Rollenthal is extremely popular in every region.
Yeah, they probably didn't think that design like really struck people that way, but I guess they found out.
Well, she just has everything. She's a really strong character with really high damage output and good conversions, and she's a really cute character with appeal. So it just seems like that's where everyone would gravitate to. Because Elfelt was the same way, right? And Exard. I wasn't there at the beginning to see like just how many people played Elfelt at the start. But when I played Sign a couple months after the game got released, I mean, there were still Elfelts running everywhere. And I don't know if it's because she was overpowered or if it's just because she just reaches the same appeal as Ramlethal in this game, where she's strong and she's cute and she's like a favorite because it's the way she looks.
I feel like both those characters fell off really hard in Exiled for different reasons. For Ramlethal, because they made it harder for her to get to her win condition, and for Elfelt, you actually have to like sit down and practice to get anything like a merit out of her.
Well, I mean, in the first version, if I remember correctly, the grenade was like...
Yeah, the grenade was really good, but it's like you had to sit down and actually like practice to get her burst damage. You couldn't just like play her and get it.
That's after the nerfs, right? Because the first version, she was super...
Her shotgun loops and stuff have always been like really hard to time, and really, so you'd only find the people who like actually practiced to get that out of her. Everyone else just kind of flailed around and took advantage of her grenade, but they couldn't like put the actual burst damage, the thing that like really drives the nail for Elfelt. And so like that's why a lot of players just fell off, because it's like you can be annoying for only so long.
Yeah, once they got rid of the cheese, you had to be really solid with the combo or be really good at setting everything up. Once they got rid of that cheese stuff, then I guess you just like, if you're just the guy that's just pressing buttons, there's no reason for you to stay with that character, because as much as however annoying Elfelt is, it's just not easy or anything. You know, a lot of the characters in Guilty Gear are not easy. So, you know,
yeah.
Even me, I don't want to play Elfelt, mainly because I don't want to learn how to do the shotgun loops. And how hard that is comparatively to the characters I play, I don't know, but it looks annoying to learn, so I never bothered. Because I can only imagine, since I played Jam, I got really frustrated with just how character specific my ultimate combos had to be. I can only imagine character like Elfo probably has the same deal, where the weight and the weight and how they fall probably has a lot to do with some of their combos.
Yeah, for her unblockable loops, you usually had like different versions for whatever characters and stuff like that.
But let's see. Yeah, apparently Giovanna was really popular too, and I think it's the same reason as Ramlethal. Honestly, just character that's simple in that game, but pretty effective, and the play style is not really hard to grasp either. I played her when I got the game. She was interesting. I just didn't really. She didn't have that thing I was looking for in characters, which is something really, really, really annoying to people that have to work their entire life to get around.
I'm
But
also like curious, like when they say like the most, how much of just like the design, aesthetics, personality went into that too. Because I can see why like some ruffians in Australia just like love Potemkin, this big manly man.
that's true. This actually is just which character you like. It doesn't mean which character you played the most. So Giovanna could just be right underneath Ramlethal for the same reasons everyone likes Ramlethal.
Pretty much. You see a good bit of the Nagori Yuki in there, which a lot of people praise his design.
He's cool. I mean, just look at him. He's a cool character. I don't know if he's great, but his character idea looks cool, and then the things he does looks cool. So if it's just about liking a character, I think he's really cool, and I would probably mark him down too. But here's my favorite part of the dev notes: the modes.
Okay, let's get to the modes, man.
Okay, so this is actually this is mainly the biggest thing I had a problem with with this dev notes because it just confirms my beliefs that devs either just don't see what people want all the time, or they just get like focused and they just can't see the obvious solutions to things.
Mhm.
Because well, let's look at versus mode. Versus mode obviously has a high rating, and it's because it's just versus mode. If you ain't Street Fighter V and you just don't forget to play a fucking rematch button offline, you're probably in good shape, right? It's only one company I have has ever not put a rematch button in a fucking offline versus mode for second player, as far as I'm aware.
That's actually not true, but
No, who else? I gotta know who fucked up. Who else?
Virtua Fighter's like that, where only the winner gets the screen. It's not even first player; it's the winner gets to choose whether you rematch, go to stage select.
Why?
I don't know.
I can understand for really, really old fighting games because they just mimic arcade. So they just give the whoever loses the chance to press start. Or if you want to go, or what will happen is in really old fighting games is that once you lose, it just defaults brings you back to character select screen, right? Because it's mimicking the arcade. So I can understand that. But why would you not put a rematch button offline? This is such a fucking crazy idea to not give the second player a choice.
Yeah, by the time Street Fighter V rolled out, it definitely was not a thing that should be in the game.
Yeah,
but shout out to the thumbs up.
Yeah, I can't believe we were doing that. It was crazy. It wouldn't be so bad if Street Fighter 4 didn't already have a rematch button. So they just ignored something that existed already within their repertoire. It reminds me of like Samurai Showdown, how shitty the online is, right? And like the lobbies didn't even work like real lobbies. But you have KOF, which at the end of his life cycle had really good lobbies. So what happened? Like, did they just not look at the other? Did no one look at their own fighting games? That's the only thing I can imagine. Like, this is the craziest. But
I feel like when you have decisions like that, like really odd and obvious things, to me, this is my own experience in working in projects, is there's always somebody up there who has enough clout and management who goes, well, they won't miss it. And then everyone tries to convince them, and then there's like, they're just so stubborn. And then you just gotta kind of fall in line eventually. And I feel like that's what happens in a lot of these Japanese devs. Someone try to someone probably brought it up. Like, look at our KOF 14 lobby. You can't put that in here. Nah, they'll be okay. They just want to play. It's whatever. Just do what I tell you. And I feel like that's where a lot of these things always go wrong, and the nonsensical decisions come from. But that's my bias anyway.
I mean, how long could it possibly take someone to add a rematch button? Like, I don't know. I'm not a developer, right? But I can't imagine the resources required to bring up a menu for both players. It's too crazy.
A lot of times, it's not about how hard or difficult it is. It's about if you're allowed to spend any resources on it, like anytime, or if that person, some reason, doesn't think it belongs there, and they have enough power to say so. I've seen it so many times. So that kind of thing comes to my mind when I see decisions like that. Anyway,
So I should blame Ono for Street Fighter Five not having a rematch button. Gotcha. Because Ono was there and he let it go.
A lot of people say that things have gotten better since he was there, and there was always like this innuendo that he was causing a lot of issues, but nobody would say what. But I'm pretty sure down the road we're gonna see what it was.
I mean, if the next fighting game comes out from Capcom, I'm saying next fighting game because I'm praying it's not a Street Fighter at this point. But the next fighting game that comes out from Capcom, if it comes out really good with all the bells and whistles and all the things that matter, then we have no other person to blame, right? Because at this point, I look back at Ultimate Marvel, AE, Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and I can't help but feel like he was the director. But I don't know if he was over Marvel, right? I don't know who was I don't know if he was directly responsible for Marvel or anything, but I'm assuming he had some kind of input, right? There's no way. Like Marvel, right? Marvel came out right after Street Fighter 4 and it didn't have spectator mode. So it's like
the dancing cards.
Yeah, the dancing cards. So it makes me wonder who to blame and how much to blame on somebody. Because they had a really big streak of bad mistakes after Street Fighter 4. Like, Street Fighter 4 only came out unscathed because for a while, I guess the base idea was solid enough. But near the end of its lifespan, I mean, we just saw them fuck it up more and more. And then 5 came out, which is a big fuck up. And I don't know. Somebody's to blame. There's no way you can fuck up this many times and not blame somebody. Because then you look at the other games, you look at like Monster Hunter and Resident Evil and how they're doing right now. Obviously, something's changed because Monster Hunter's always been pretty praised in Japan. But Resident Evil was like falling into a dumpster for a while. And same with Devil May Cry. They had that one weird version. And
the reboot, whatever it is.
Yeah, after that, they cleaned up their act, and all their games since then have been pretty good. But fighting games are the only ones right now that are lackluster consistently. So somebody's to blame. So if Ono's gone, and now the fighting games they make are great, then, woohoo.
Look, man, I'm not trying to make any implications, but you can even look at the public attitude about Street Fighter V, which has shifted in a positive direction as of late.
Yeah, but I think that's mainly because the fact that they have no choice.
I mean, you can still keep fucking up even if you have no choice.
I mean, well, did they fix the netcode? Did they fix the netcode?
That is true.
Yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. Because there's no way I could accept their DLC as okay. Because the amount of money it takes to create these characters is way too high for them to not just get in the fucking code and fix the netcode. I know it's possible because we already had someone do it, right? For free. So I cannot give them. I can't dap them up.
I'm not disagreeing with you. That's why I specifically said the public image has shifted.
Oh, well.
Because there are a lot of people that have been like, okay, it's all right. And a lot of people saying they want to go back. So, like, you starting to see, like, that change of, like how they're perceived. And they haven't done everything they need to do yet. But the fact that they're going in that direction, like, you might be like, okay, maybe something's up with Ono leaving. That's what I'm trying to imply.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we'll have to see. I'm praying that, because that's the company I lived with for a long time. So hopefully they get their shit together. But we're not talking about them, I guess, right now. Let's talk about the other company that's trying to get this shit together. So, but it's funny. Okay, so before I let this shit go, it's weird because Arcsys really, their game product outside of the netcode, realistically, there's nothing wrong with it, right? Like the Exart series, because they have a story. They got their own little couple one-off offline crap, like the MOM mode or MOM. Mm-hmm. And then they have like the statue viewer mode and like editor. And then, the lobbies look great. They're visually good. The characters look good. The music's good. There's no weird unfunctionality with the
Yeah.
menus. So realistically, they don't have a history of really making a horrible decision. I think their only history is their games not being populated because they're niche games, and then once they make a new one, a majority of the players that were playing their old one leave to the newest one. So like when I think about Blaze Blue, and then they made the Persona game, and then they made another Blaze Blue, you know, Persona 4 kind of fell off hard once there were so many games made by the same company populating, right? So, or just by different anime games in general, right? And I feel like the community moving to new whatever the newest thing is, since their netcode is so poor that the ones that want to stay back and keep playing their game, they don't even have the option to do it optimally, right? So I think that's really what hurts them the most, because the games themselves don't have functionality problems; they just don't have netcode, so they suffered the problem of being ultra niche, and then not being able to play each other.
Yeah, we always call it the Arcsys cycle. Because the next game come out, cannibalize the player base, and yeah, and you look at it in hindsight, it's definitely is driven by how the netcode is implemented. Because like you can't stay back because you won't have anybody to play. So and then like the hardcore people will move on to the next game begrudgingly anyway. Like there's a lot of people who want to play Blaze Blue Central Fiction, and they cry about it all the time, and they're playing EV Tag,
Grand
Guilty
Blue.
Gear or whatever. Yeah, Grand Blue. They're like, I just really want to play BBC up.
Yeah.
And like I think those games will have pretty, like you said, they're pretty good in functionality. So I think they would still be populated enough if they were given a chance.
But they don't have a chance because the netcode's trash. So any chance you had to play with your friend is gone, unless they live next to you, and even then it's trash. So I don't know. If they had this rollback before, maybe these games wouldn't have to be suffered so badly. I mean, it's not like obviously these games aren't all gonna have 10,000 people playing actively, right? But it would make it so that the 500 or maybe the net number could be 500 instead of like 20, right? Because there's absolutely no way to enjoy these games as intended once the people have dwindled so little, because the rank mode becomes unfunctional essentially, and then versus mode is almost unfunctional. So you have to invite people from Discords and shit, because there's no way to group up unless you've just been playing the same dude for 7 years and you just know when he gets off of work. So that's just the way it is for these older Arcsys games, and there's nothing really wrong with Persona. Obviously, we're not gonna talk about gameplay, right? Because that's just all subjective. Realistically, as much as I shit on fighting games because I don't like them, but like I can't like say it's bad because it's just not the thing I like. Gameplay wise, the game functions. Yeah. You can get in there and play the fighting game, so I can't be like, this game is whatever. It's just not the thing I want in a fighting game. For other people, this is what they want, but they can't play it. That's why it sucks. That's why it sucks.
Yeah, like it's funny because you were talking about Guilty Gear, and I was thinking about like all the tutorial modes they have in there, like to learn how to do basic movement, the system mechanics, and they even have like the versus character tutorials where it's like Sato's about to put the bus on you, so here's what you should do and stuff like that. It's like they have all the stuff that people actually ask for, like you said, the whole theatrical movie, but they also can do the arcade mode, the mom mode, this online training mode, something people ask for a lot. And then you look at it, it's like there's a whole lot of stuff that people actually ask for in their games, and that's in there. And it's all just kind of eclipsed by the fact that you can't just go online and play people.
Yeah, that's such a deal breaker, and it is funny because this should have been gone 10 years ago. This problem should have been gone 10, 12 years ago. Sadly, this is not we could have had a better, more populated fighting game environment, I guess. But maybe the fact that it's happening now is better than never, right?
Like that guy on SRK in 2011 said, maybe it's 10 or 11 years we'll finally make it.
Yeah. Oh my dad, he was right. That one guy in 2009. Oh man, TGPO is working really great with HD Remix. Don't you think they'll put it in Street Fighter 4, right? And then like everyone was like, man, I hope so. It only makes sense. And then here we are. fucking Capcom fucked up 3 games to get it right on the one that no one, well, not that no one plays, but fucking the community's very small because of Capcom's decisions. You know, I'm talking about Marvel Infinite. If no one knows, like, that game could have been a lot more well received if Capcom didn't mishandle it in a lot of ways that did not involve the net play. But the net play is good. It's just, you know, they got it right on the one that they fucked up everything else on. Now, what will be upsetting is that they don't do what they did with that one on the next one, and they fucked that shit up too. And then that goes fucking trash again. They were back to square one, right? That's why this Guilty Gear beta was so refreshing, because the fucking rollback works so good. They can't fuck it up unless someone moves a number after this shit's released for some reason.
Like, yeah, like all the feedback and everything, someone can't be like, you know what, we're not doing this anymore.
Yeah, there's no way. But yeah, that's all. That's really what this all spawned from the versus mode talk. But for the most part, all this only happened because we're talking about stuff that should be obvious, but it's apparently not so obvious. I guess the next thing to talk about is the tutorial mode, which I didn't even know there was a tutorial mode, and I think it's because I played on Bates' PS4, and he had already probably either did it, completed it, or went around it. So I didn't know there was a tutorial mode. So I really got nothing to say. Did you ever do the tutorial?
Yeah. It does prompt you when you first turn the game on. It says you want to do this, and I did it just because. And all it does is like you know, here's how to move, here's how to stuff. And like if you've never played a fighting game, that you know that stuff is valuable, and people like us will kind of naturally overlook it. But for like somebody who does, you know, is like, you know, this game looks really cool, but they never played a 2D fighting game, that is actually valuable to tell them to down back the block. But it's stuff like that.
That they didn't give you like the Jacko minions to hit and jump over shit like they did the last time.
I don't. No. Like I'm trying to recall, but nah. It's mostly just like here's how you move. Here's what the you know pressing the buttons will do, and you know beat up Kai. But you know.
All right, so classic tutorial essentially.
Mm-hmm. It didn't go into. Well, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it did not go into the system mechanics, which I think is why people were kind of like giving mixed reviews on it.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. Trust me. Samsung's tutorial was pretty good, actually. It's funny. That is one thing I can say is that the Samurai Showdown tutorial was pretty thorough, and I think they had. My only problem is that there was actually a typo in the Samurai Showdown tutorial, and I pointed it out to SNK, and they never fixed it.
Like it wasn't even a typo; it was just like a straight out wrong sentence.
Yeah, they didn't explain it correctly. It was a mistranslation, or they didn't understand how it worked.
I think it was just a mistranslation because like they got the number right, but they just said what it was doing was the opposite.
Yeah. I was like, hey guys, this is actually how it works. They're like, all right. Here's Iroha. I'm like, I didn't ask for this. I just wanted you to fix the words.
I mean, the community manager also acknowledged what was happening with the lobbies. What came out of that?
Yeah, nothing. They're still fun. It is what it is, I guess. But all right, so here's the thing that we want to talk about the most: the network mode. Now, the network mode, which is the online lobby specifically, it has the worst receive like bars out of everything in this entire dev guide. Yeah, it is the worst out of everything in this dev guide, and it's funny because I don't know who said good or very good. We need to talk, but some people said it was good or very good. Now, I can only imagine those people are the people they want to play that mode, right?
Yeah.
So apparently, that amount of people is very small, which is what we were saying. Like, I don't know if you were saying it. I can't remember if you concurred, but what I was saying was, this isn't for people that want to play fighting games, right? This is just for people that may play every now and then because they're like, oh, look, it's the lobby. I get to be a pixel man, right? People who like really, really like fighting games or are more adept, they just want the quickest way, right? They just want the quickest way to get game,
Yeah.
So I can only assume this insanely tiny percentage was the people who actually are like, oh, you know what? I'll try the Guilty Gear beta. I like biking in. I played biking in Rev 2. Maybe I'll play this game. And they load the game up. And they're like, I'll just play this every now and then. Oh, look, this lobby's pretty neat. I like this lobby. It's like a tower. Oh, I played that guy? All right, well, on to the next guy. Like, he's not thinking about rematching anyone, right? He's like, I played this guy. Let me go play the other guy. Like, he's not thinking about anything. So, I'm assuming that's where that percentage came from. The few amount of people that were just that, they meet that category that would play a beta. Now, obviously, the majority of people who play a beta for a fighting game are people who are really invested in fighting games, or at some point want to be invested in fighting games a lot. So, the I would say maybe a third of the people who did this said it was good. Now, the 2/3 that played this did not enjoy this. I'm counting average as did not enjoy it, because average is like, for me, that means that you probably didn't want to be mean about it. So I'll say 2/3. 2/3 of the people that played online did not enjoy the experience. And obviously, if anyone had the time put in to the game, there's a reason. Now, the reason why is because there's no rematch option. And the way it functions is after you play somebody, it'll separate each other. And then when you try to ready up, it'll also teleport you some other location, which is horrible. And it's easy to see why no one liked it. But
yeah,
this is the part that pisses me off. Because I can understand them trying some new shit, because obviously all companies want to try to make up some bullshit to like capture the attention of their player base in some kind of way. So they try to innovate shit that doesn't need to be innovated. Happens all the time. People try to re-innovate shit that doesn't need to be innovated in any way, because it's been solved, right? Like, something's been perfected so far. It's almost impossible to perfect it any further. So the next step is to fuck it all up and do it again. That's a lot of companies do this shit, and I just don't know why they do it. But in this scenario, I can understand why they did it, but there's one thing that is unforgivable, and it is elaborated upon. And I just still can't believe this. But so Katana talks about the tutorial mode and the versus mode. And if you go further down in the dev list, he talks about how he's fixing the lobby, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's changing it to a system where players select a visible area where they want to have a match, which that's better, right? So they can set up fights better. Now, here's another thing. After winning a match, the player stays where they are in a battle-ready state unless a rating changes. That was annoying. When you fought somebody, there was a whole minute and a half to kill between your next game, because your guy had to throw his sword on the ground, be upset, run around, and then you to line your shit back up, right, and then play again, right? So This is perfect. You can fucking sit. You can just stay there, and then you're just ready for the next one. Great. Now we get to the big fucking one here. After this fucking beta survey result, they are adding a rematch option. Now, this may be negative of me.
Okay.
But wouldn't that mean that they were not going to put a rematch option in this online lobby?
Yeah, that's the implication, because like you would think they'd be like they would have just said it like, yeah, we understand there was no rematch because we just wanted you to play, as much people as you could for the online testing and all that, which would have made sense. But like when they put it here, it's like, yeah, they didn't have any plans to have it there in the first place.
Now, Coach, wouldn't it be obvious to put a rematch option in a fighting game?
Man. Oh.
I don't get it. I don't understand how you could not put a rematch option on an online fighting lobby. It's funny because I think they had that option in Exard where you could just set it to rematch on the arcade cabs. So I remember rematching in the arcade cabs. So what the fuck? Like, it doesn't. That's the thing that bothers me is that it happens. It happens all the time, in not just fighting games, but where something exists, and like you said, well, I don't remember if we talked about this before. So did you? I can't remember if you talked to me before the podcast about this. Can you explain to me why something like this would be overlooked to everyone here? Because I think we talked about it before, but not during.
I mean, we were talking about it here where I was saying like management and stuff, but like I don't know why that would be overlooked at all. Like I mean, I can't really say.
But you're saying like management, right? So that would mean so management determines what happens, right? So if that's the case, that means they didn't write that shit down.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, it's fucking crazy. Like, that's such a simple thing. It's such a basic thing. You might as well just took the power button out the fucking console. Oh, damn, we forgot to ship it with the power button. Like, that to me is almost the same.
There's a lot of questions. Like talking, like I know we were trying to stay on track with SNK, but I mean, Arcsys. But I keep thinking about Samurai Showdown. Like besides all the stuff we've always talked about, there's one glaring thing that just stands out to me, and it seems like really ridiculous. Is the fact that there are 2 character selects with pages.
Yeah,
on the version, but that doesn't make no sense.
Make any sense at all, right? And it's weird because they didn't do that with any fighting game they did before, right? I don't know a single SNK fighting game that has multiple scrolling pages for characters select. I don't know any fighting game, period, that did that. Obviously, there may be one, but I haven't played it. I don't know why the fuck they did it. Like, who decided this? Someone decided that.
It's just a weird thing, like, because I can even see somebody who's like never played a fighting game, and then they're looking, and they might think that page will be the only choice they have, right? If they're just messing around, and they might not even like really notice that. It's like you should have all your characters there to see, because there's been some really bad fighting game character selects. Like Samurai Showdown 6 is actually really bad too, where it has like all the characters that are scrolling parallax back in the background, so you like have to scroll like all these pages, kind of. Because they're like in rows going back to the screen.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, so like you have to like page through stuff like that is terrible. Like if you wanna have a character select, you should be able to see like all the characters right there. I don't understand why they did that.
It's weird because when you look at Samurai Showdown 5 Special, they got it right? It's just a regular. It's just a regular character select screen, and you get to see the animations. And you know what? 5 Special's select screen is fucking amazing, and I'm gonna tell you why it's actually amazing. I think it's actually one of the best character select screens ever. And it's because the characters, SNK is known for their animations, right? The animation quality of their old pixels, right? Like their old pixel style. Mm-hmm. Now, the reason why 5 Special is so good with their character select screen is because when you hover over the character, it shows off the really cool animation of the individual character stances, right? And it gives you a really good thought. It lets you know what the character is about, what their weapon is, and what their personality may be, right? There's a lot of information given to you right there just from doing that. Obviously, you can't do it with these newer style 3D games as much because maybe it's not beneficial to have these characters bouncing around the screen. But I mean, 5 does it, but they're just static poses. I mean, 5 looks ugly as sin anyway, so it doesn't really show off as good. But 5 Special looks amazing because you get to see this. It shows off so much, and it's all organized correctly. It's all organized really well. All the characters. It's funny too because the characters are up top. The character select is up top in the middle, and the characters on the bottom left, bottom right. Normally, fighting games shifted away from that. The only other game I know, most fighting games kind of like put them on the top left and top right these days, but or they'll have a column in the center and they'll have them left or right. But to me, it looks amazing, and the fact that you can see the characters and their animations is like fucking perfect. It's too good. And then when you click them, they do their pose, right? Yeah. And they do the war cry. So it's great. So like when I clicked Tam Tam, I heard the Michael Jackson. I knew that was what that's all I needed to know I made the right choice. But then we look at 7. 7 has the 2 pages, look like trash. And then the worst part is the DLCs on the second page. This is also an argument to be made that they did that to confuse their buyers. Imagine buying DLC and then scrolling to the right and you can't find them. Like, where the fuck is it? But I don't know why they did that. It's awful. Character select screens are not very hard to design correctly. I think if you just have everything organized very well and make sure things are very easily seen and allow the players to get a feel for what the character is when they hover over it, I think that goes a long way. The way Guilty Gear handles it is pretty good. They have the portrait, and then once you make the selection, then it shows you the character, if I remember correctly, right? Or does it always have
Yeah. So when you click the character initially, like it shows them, and then they'll do like random animation. It's like Faust is bouncing up and down with his bag, and then you got Slayer like adjusting his clothes and stuff.
Yeah, that's great too. Like that's perfect. Like that. What more could you need? Like that's all you need for a character select screen. Overcomplicating it or making it ugly like that is just fucking. This is no reason for it. The character select screen's purpose is to display what you have and then let everyone identify with the character that they're going to choose and waste their entire life on. It's important that they can see these things. But I think the only reason I don't like Guilty Gears as much as Samurai Showdowns is actually because I don't really care for the portraits, I guess, occupying the screen. I prefer the stick character models, and I don't really care for the portraits because they don't really do anything for me. But, it's still good. It's not a bad thing. They do a really good job. That's why it's hard to find something wrong with Arcsys. It always just comes back to netcode. Now, them not putting a rematch in, that's fucked up because they did rematch options forever. So what the fuck? Like, where did it go? Like, how'd you lose it? Someone drop it on the way to work? Like, was it a flash drive and someone fucking dropped it? But yeah, essentially the online lobby, they that's the biggest thing is that they fucked up. They realized that they did not have a rematch option. Mm-hmm. And they're fixing it, luckily. But it's crazy to me that didn't happen. But aside from that, though, the other 2 things are good. I can understand the first thing, where they said the visible area change. I can understand that because if they're not playing in a hub within the building with hundreds of people, they may not be easy to understand how hard it is to find someone and then rank and then fight each other, right? Mm-hmm. But the other couple things should be big giveaways, but we'll let it go because the game looks amazing and everything else has been great and the rollback works, so I'll let it slide, I guess. But the rematch has to exist,
beta, right?
Yeah, and there is a beta, right? But you don't need a beta to add a rematch button.
Well, my point is, at least in the final product, they'll put the obvious stuff in.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's the most important part, that it will exist before the game technically exists. Now, that aside, since it's the game itself, that was the weakest part of the game, was the online. So that being rectified is really good. The quick match function, that worked fine. The training mode, everyone received it pretty well. Me, myself, it's funny to say this, but Samurai Showdown got it right on the recording function. The recording function for Samurai Showdown is so simple, but effective. And it works really well. Now, the amount of options available at once is not very good, but how the recording works is fucking great. I love the way the recording works. It's like a league above everything else. Guilty Gear, they kind of they have the recording functions, but the reversal functions and shit are not quite as open as I would hope. So I don't really like the recording function for Guilty Gear, but the old Guilty Gear I didn't really like it as much either. Because in Samurai Showdown, you can record the reversal and then record everything else that you would do and put option selects and all kinds of shit, right? But
Yeah.
in Guilty Gear, you only have static if this, do this. And I don't really care for that. It's really not that good. It looks organized, it looks really good, but it actually is not that good. Street Fighter V is the same way. Street Fighter V's recording is really fucking shitty. And it makes it really hard to do certain chain scenarios, right? Because when you practice a fighting game at a higher level, you don't do, okay, guy DPs on wake up, right? You do, well, what if he option selects with throw DP at the same time, right? Like, that's normally the scenarios of bullshit you have to deal with at a high level. So it's hard to achieve that correctly in games where the recording function, it works the way theirs does. Now, obviously, there's a way to set the recording function to do shit like that, but the trick is to knock them down and then make it play. And then hopefully it plays out exactly the right timing as you record it, right? As opposed to Samurai Showdown where you just hit the button to record and you just immediately go into it. And then it'll play out exactly how it's supposed to play on someone's wake up because it'll be set to reversal and it'll do the whole thing on the wake up. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if that's in there. Is it in there? I'm pretty sure it's not. I tried.
I think they did the Grand Blue method of letting you just select the moves.
Yeah, I don't like that shit. It's not. It doesn't satisfy the needs to me. But outside of that, training mode works as a training mode, right? We still don't got a hitbox viewer, right? I don't know why.
Nah.
To this day and age, we don't have a fucking hitbox viewer. We don't have frame data, right?
I don't believe so. No.
So we don't got frame data either. So I guess rollback's a good start, but we need fighting game developers to also acknowledge hitboxes and frame data being useful because it's we have fighting games that have that. They're all indie fighting games, and then we have Mortal Kombat that also has that. I don't know if Mortal Kombat has a hitbox viewer, but I know
I think it's just Killer Instinct.
Yeah, Killer Instinct has a hitbox viewer. Mortal Kombat has frame data on every move though, which is good. But this is like basic stuff. I can't imagine it being hard to put a hitbox viewer in a game. I don't know.
I think they want that obscured for a reason. I think that's always been like historically why they haven't put frame data and stuff, but they've like been gradually kind of coming off that pedestal or whatever. Because like DBFZ started out with basically really bare bones, and now it's like one of the best training modes in the round because it has like complete frame data, especially in a game like that where like there's so much stuff happening and there's so many like sub scenarios that can happen based on timing. It's like having frame data in a game like that is amazing. So they finally put all that in there. They added more recording slots. So like you can see like there's definitely a shift towards that. But I was curious why they didn't put it all in Strive, but maybe it's coming down the road. I don't know.
Maybe. I think if they just make it so that you can record and the guy I can set the recording as a reversal in a specific scenario to play out the whole way. If they can do some shit like that, that'll be a start for me. And then we can worry about the frame data in the hitbox viewer. Only because we're in the end of the day, we're just gonna look at the frame data anyway and have a PDF for it. Someone's gonna do it. It's not gonna be me, but someone's gonna do it. But the recording function is I need that. I don't know if it does it. Like I said, I don't want to complain about it, and it turns out you can set the recording just like Samurai Showdown. It just seems like it don't work like that. But I can't say for sure. I know Street Fighter V don't do it. Street Fighter V is completely different on how they do it, but I don't know. Samurai Showdown is the easiest though. Like, okay, so like the best way I could explain it is that if there was a way to do it, it wasn't plain enough for me. Because the way Samurai Showdown works is literally you record it and then you set it to reversal. It's like unmissable. You can't miss it. It's impossible to miss that shit. But if there was a way to do it in Guilty Gear, it was hidden in such a way that I couldn't find it. But yeah. So training mode was well received, obviously, because I'm pretty sure most of us spent a lot of time in there. Mostly in there, just trying to figure out how you can cheat people online. And for now, until they... I'm glad we had that, though, because they patched out a bunch of infinites that probably didn't want to exist in the game. Yeah, that's pretty much the biggest parts. After that, they kind of just talk about the characters themselves, right? They have the character visuals, character animations, which were rated really high. The stage graphics were rated high. The round start win screen visuals and the battle effects in the battle system, they kind of teeter tottering. You can see a huge dip there.
Like it's not like it's like very bad, but you can just see like there's a satisfaction there.
Yeah, you can see the growing dissatisfaction on the battle system and the battle effects and the camera and the round start. And I think obviously it's ugly as fuck. I don't know why anyone would say it's good. I don't really need the whole screen to slow down and say counter across the screen in bold. But, you know, maybe most people don't have a problem with it like I do. I can understand that. But there's clearly a dip there, so my sentiment is not alone. What's your bit? Do you like it or no? I hate that shit.
I don't like anything that disrupts the actions or obscures anything. Cause I'm looking at the round start win screen visuals. I'm imagining that's because it takes a long time. Like you got to watch May blink and call her buddies and do all that stuff when you get to the next match. Same like issue in like Street Fighter or Tekken or whatever. And then like the camera movement, I definitely did not like watching Potemkin fly through the air for 5 seconds and then land. Like I don't like. It feels like to me like it's like someone hitting the brakes while I'm trying to go as fast as I want.
Yeah, I completely agree. The things you're saying is actually a thing I have in all video games, not just fighting games. I don't like when the game is taken out of my hands, even if it's for a moment. So, me hitting Pot against the wall and him flying, those like 10 seconds are a waste of time. That's a waste of my fucking time. I really don't give a fuck about him flying off the wall. I want to keep playing my game, right? Which is actually why I don't like Exard more than Red. And I'm not Exard. Exard more than Plus R. And it's just that. Because there's a lot of moments in Exard as compared to Plus R where the game slows down considerably. And it has a lot to do with like roaming cancels and like animations and shit. Everything in Plus R is snappy. Like it's out, it's fast, it's done. You're getting hit. You're 99 getting hit. Like that's what Plus R is, right? And even supers, right? The game freezes for a quarter of a second, like quarter of a second, and then you do your super, right? And there's no like pause. Everything in I blame Street Fighter 4 for this, honestly, because Street Fighter 4 to me was like the beginning of I'm doing this thing, and then he does this thing, right? That is like the beginning of overly long cinematics taking the wind out of my gameplay. And sadly, it seems like every fighting game copied that as soon as they did that, right? Because almost all of them do it now, and it's not fun. As much as I praise Street Fighter 4, I really hate that. I don't like it at all. I prefer Super Turbo Supers. Like Ryu Super is just like he tucks his arm in and then Hadouken's out, and it's done. Like this is it. Like he just goes. You just hear the sound, brink, and it's out. And then if you're dead, you're not. Like this is something else too. I don't need the fucking Matrix camera going around him and then him saying, and then firing it off, which is which is funny because I know that's why a lot of people like in Dragon Ball Fighters. So I don't know. I can understand Dragon Ball Fighters though because people only like Dragon Ball for the spectacle. It can't be for the lore. It's got to be for the spectacle because all Toriyama do is write a bunch of spectacles. So that game is made for people that like spectacles. So everything having a ton of cinematic makes sense for those consumers. But for fighting games, it's terrible. It takes me out of the game. It's a waste of time. My rule of thumb is if I can take a drink in the middle of the fighting game, I'm bored more than likely because there's some shit going on in the game that is out of my hands, and I don't have like this. I'm not being interactive. So if you can ever pick up a cup and take a drink in the middle of a fighting game, that's too much time being wasted to me. It's way too much time being wasted. Why can't I take a drink in the middle of a fucking fighting game? But that's just the way things are, though. Obviously, that's just how it's going to be from now on, right? So when Pot lands a fucking super, you might as well just grab your cup of Sunny D and wait for it to be done. Right? So I don't like it. I don't know what do you not? I obviously dislike it intensely, but I don't know if you're just like, hey, this is annoying.
I'm definitely not a big fan of it. Like, I learned to take advantage of it over time. It was like, here's the cinematic. Then I just like take the time to like really look at my super bars and the health bars and time and whatever resources. That's what I use it for. But like, I would definitely prefer them not being there.
I mean, we know why it's in there. It's for the casual players to have a
Yeah,
second.
yeah, I mean, I'm not saying like they put it in there for no reason. It's just like you said, for me, it's not something I care for because it does just feel like a stop to the action.
Yeah, because had this not existed, you could have already been putting pressure on them, right? So it does nothing for it. It really does nothing for the player. All it is to be, hey, look at this. That looked great, didn't it? All right. But after the second or third time, I don't want to look at it anymore. It's over. I love Raging Demon as much as the next guy in Street Fighter 4. But there comes a time where I wish Raging Demon was more like the ST Raging Demon, where he just kills you in a quarter of a second, right? Sometimes I think that would be cooler. I actually, it's funny. I bring that up, but my favorite Raging Demon is actually the CVS2 Raging Demon of Evil Ryu. You know why? Because he grabs you and he kills you, and it's like a quarter of a second, and it hits you like 100 times in a quarter of a second. He just grabs you, like, and you're dead. That is way cooler than Akuma grabbing you, the camera going in on him, the darkness surrounding you, and him spinning around you and punching you 1,000 times, and then the camera pans out and he puts his back to you and he goes, miss. That is way cooler than all that bullshit. Obviously, more people are not going to agree, but that's how I feel. The fact that he killed you in a quarter of a second and hit you 1,000 times in a second, and it's just you're dead. Like, it's like that. That feeling, okay, so the only way I can explain it better is if someone hits you with Raging Demon with Evil Ryu and CVS2, it's just like, like, you're just like, I'm dead. Like, it's over. Like, I just died. But in Street Fighter 5 or even 4, you're just like, he got me with Raging Demon. Let me grab my popcorn. All right, yeah, mess sucks. Yeah, I'm dead. Next round. Like, it's just too long. The punch. You take the punch out of the move.
I mean, he does say to die 1,000 deaths.
Yeah, count 1,000 seconds. That's all that shit is. That fucking shit is not as cool, and it's only because it takes you don't have there's no punch to it. That's the best word I can say. You got no punch because it's stretched out too long. So whatever punch you had with how like scary it is gone. It's actually a move just like that, but I feel like would be more effective is actually Leo and his back turn projectile with the super. Man, if that move didn't have all that fucking startup animation to it with the cinematic, that move would have that punch. You would just be like, fuck, like as soon as he fucking does it, because there would be no cinematic, right? You would just hear the blink and you lose half your fucking life. Like, if that had no cinematic to it, it would be such a crazy move. It would be like, fuck, like that would just be it would really deliver just how powerful that move is. But since they want to show Leo spinning the shit, causing a hurricane, calling the name out, and then flexing his arms and then shooting it, it's still annoying. And it's like, fuck, but it's not as strong as it could be. That's just my opinion. That's all on a person to person. But trust me, if you're a newer fighting game player, I think you would understand if you played some of the older ones how devastating moves can feel when it's really fast and you just lost an obscene amount of health, because those moves tend to give you that punch in the gut as opposed to you having to sit there and fucking count on your fingers, right, while you wait for this guy to kill you. You don't need that. Like, but that's art direction. That's art direction. That's a lot of things. There's nothing to do with. It's more like a curse at this point because I know why they do it. It's never coming back. Fast supers will never come back. Like, we're cursed from now on to always have these big cinematics because I think at some point they drew some kind of conclusion that you get more players this way. And I don't know if that's true or not. I can't say if it's true. If it's true, then fine. So be it. I get it. You're a company. You want to make money, right? But I can't feel like in my heart that crazy cinematic supers are not the way to make money, because people that enjoy your fighting are not going to spend more money because they like seeing Kai in 120 frames per second shooting somebody with Ride the Lightning. You know.
Well, you never know, man. You never know.
It's hard to tell. I can't say. That's just a preference. I obviously don't give a fuck about that, but I'm never getting it back, so that it kind of bothers me a little bit. I'm never getting it back. Those things are gone. The only game that has that is recent. None. There are no games recent that are like that. Fuck. I guess the most recent game is possibly that them Fighting Herds.
I would say Fighting EX Layers like that. Like outside of a couple of specific supers, generally they happen and then you combo off of them.
I when I watched Fighting EX Layer, the supers are just like they just glow and then like boom boom boom, like it's just done, like it's that.
Yeah, there's a couple of demons like that, but outside of that's not the norm.
I'm trying to. Oh, you know what game is actually like that? Is I think Killer Instinct.
Yeah, because their supers are combo fighters, and so they can't really just be like Hisako's going into some animation because you're doing a super. So it's usually like you do this super, and then that's supposed to connect into the next thing. So it's part. They made supers part of the overall flow of the game, so that's why I guess they didn't do that.
Yeah, there's really not any moments like that, which is why when I watch like Killer Instinct combos, they look really cool and the supers look cool, but they don't hit that hard, so you don't really get that feeling. If you get that feeling when someone like combo like does the counter breaker, that's when that feeling comes. Counter breaker, like you know you're dead now. That's the only time it feels that way. But most of their supers are like that. As far as I'm aware, I don't even know if there is a super that's cinematic in that game, but you know, it kind of meets what I want. It just, you know, it's just a hard hitting move that may just be an upgraded version. I mean, shit, you don't need crazy cinematics to make people feel like they just got fucked up. Just look at fucking Balrog and ST, man. It's just it's like 5 punches. But man, you know that shit hurts. Like you know that you just got fucking killed.
It's just this big muscle man just beating the shit out of you.
Yeah, blah 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 blah. Like you know afterwards you're fucked. Like this, you don't need the game to zoom in on his face and then make them announce the 50, like to say all 50 states in order and then punch him.
Oh man.
But all right, so that was all about battle effects and battle systems. I know we went off on a tangent, but for the most part, that's all related because this all spawned from the game taking the game away from you when the game says counter hit or the shit happens, we go flying, just unnecessary things to generate fake hype. It's just fake hype. It's not real hype. It's just to generate fake excitement. It's not really because the feeling of the excitement that you may see for this is gonna wear off after your 4th game. You're not gonna keep feeling that. Oh, I went to the wall. Like you're not gonna. That's not gonna ever stay after the third. You're not even thinking about that shit anymore. You're not even thinking about that shit. So it's all wasted time. But those things are the lowest rated things on the visuals, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is understandable because that was the weakest thing, right? Because the voices are pretty cool. The music is kind of, I don't like it, but it's not that I don't like it. I guess it's just it's weaker, and I don't want to say it's because it has lyrics, but it's also because it has lyrics. Don't really like. I don't need some guy singing in the background of my character.
But it is catchy, right?
I mean, sometimes depends on which one it is.
That's what hooked everyone in the initial song.
Well, we thought that was an opening song. We didn't think that was the entire library. I can understand that if that was just the opening theme, fine. Why is it the whole character select screen? Like, come on now. Like when it's rare, then it means something, right? Because it has its own. It's pronounced amongst the songs that don't have lyrics. This is why Jubei's song is like cool. And Must Die is cool, right? So they have lyrics. But most songs in BlazBlue do not have lyrics at all. Like it's just music. So to those, people can like them because you're only going to hear those lyrics when you see those characters or it just stands out. If every song has lyrics, then you're just going to try to find the one that doesn't have lyrics. Because, like, what the fuck? Like, no one wants to hear lyrics in their fighting game music all the time. It's only special when it's either it's rare or it's for like ending theme or something. Like those are the only scenarios where that shit works. But I guess they went the whole way with it.
definitely real special when you square up against old Ed.
Oh yeah, that guy. I don't know why they get him lyrics, but him and Cody. I don't know what it is with them giving white guys rap. Don't know what it is. Cody's is special, right? Because he's the only one with lyrics, except for until they added that other
See, Viper
character.
had lyrics.
No, she didn't.
Mm-hmm. Go listen to it next week after the stream.
Oh yeah, was it the whole song?
Like it's not like the lead sound in it, but there's vocals in it.
It's got to be really nuanced then, because I don't remember. Because are we counting like Rufus's theme of him going God chow?
Nah, just go listen to it after.
All right, I'll go listen to that shit. I didn't know this, but I'll go listen to it. The only one I was thinking of was the other character, Elena. That character. Oh man. But yeah, I don't know. It could have been better, but I guess he was just that was what he was on, right? He was theme. His theme was on that, and he was just gonna run on it. I mean, they have a whole monologue before the fight fucking starts. I was so used to Heaven or Hell, but now we get the whole lore of the game as it happens.
they gotta hide the load times from you, man.
I hate it, man. I hate it.
They don't want to give you a black screen.
Just let me see the bird a little longer. I would have been fine with the bird. Just give me a different bird per stage. That would have been perfectly fine for me. But no, we gotta talk about the lore of the game as it happens. Another thing is, so you know what's interesting? So if we go further down, it seems like many people. It says that a lot of people said the damage was too high, but you know, it says that they're mostly concerned with how fun it is pulling the combos off.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I don't really know. I don't feel too one way or the other about high damage because Samurai Showdown guy, right? So I don't really care about high damage too much. And I'm not a guy that wants my combos to be overtly difficult for no reason. Because I don't feel proud of myself. Because combos are just the means to the end to me. I want something like the perfect spot for me is combos that make you feel good for doing them, but they're not making you spend the rest of your life playing a character. One character. Like that's the sweet spot, right? Like they're hard enough to make you have to dedicate some time, and then you have enough leeway to be unique in some kind of way.
I mean, that line is pretty unique for each person because what you may not consider high effort might be a huge mountain for somebody, and vice versa, right?
That's true, but I would like to think we all agree that the characters falling and weight differences per character, and then like people falling face forward or face back, like all that different shit per character, and then making like optimal combos all derived from that is probably a bad way to make a game hard, right?
That's something that like some people will call artificial difficulty, and so you have a lot of people who think along those lines, but you also have people who think like, you know, the more there is to me to discover, whether it's something like that, makes the game better. So like you got like an Alioun who like, you know, he probably loves that stuff, right? Finding the optimal thing to do on this character when you hit them when they're being juggled like this. Some people like they love that, and I think the average person is not going to notice it anyway because they're not going to be able to do even basic stuff. But yeah, I do think there is a line, and you probably want to try to keep it reasonable. But at the end of the day, it's just depending on what kind of game you want to make. Because if you want to make a Marvel where you got to be like constantly doing these things, you should make that. If you want to make like a Fantasy Strike where you hit two buttons and you know take someone a third of their life, make that. Or if you want to do Guilty Gear where you know there's a kind of in between, or I say Strive where it's like the in between, you should do that. I think that's where my thoughts on that lie. Like make the game you want as complex or as simple as you like, and then go for the people who like that.
I didn't really feel one way or the other about the combos. I just didn't like the Gatling specifically. But.
Yeah, it's funny you brought that because they didn't say that. But as far as the damage being too high, I think that's one of those things where I feel like people look at it and they kind of misdiagnose what they find wrong with it. Like I'm trying to think. It was back in the League of Legends days when I was playing. I read a Riot quote, and I think it was really good for game design, where he's like, a lot of times people will have a problem with a game, but they will not have the proper diagnosis for said problem. But you can't disregard the feeling, because usually the feeling that they get from the game that's causing a problem is very legitimate, but the thing that they're attributing it to is often wrong. So you can't. And a lot of developers will say, well, if the thing they're attributing it is wrong, their feeling is wrong. And their approach was, they're attributing the problem to the wrong thing, but they're having a problem, and you can't forget that. And I think that's kind of what this is here with the damage being too high. I don't think people had a problem with the damage being too high as much as where you look at I guess tools that have higher reward and lower risk being attributed to high damage. That probably frustrates people a lot. Like that's kind of like the basis of the whole V trigger thing, where that if you activate it and you're right, you get the world. If you activate it and you're wrong, well, so what? And when you look at it through that kind of scope, people are like, yeah, the damage is too high. The damage is too high. And their approach is like, okay, we're keeping the damage, but we're going to reevaluate what tools lead to big damage instead of just, letting it happen regardless. Which, like, if you want to get the high damage, you have to, do the right things to have the, ample amount of risk. I think that's how they're going about it.
Yeah, because, I mean, if you look at the game, most players are playing Potemkin and Ramathal. And those characters didn't really need meter to kill you with high damage at all on any part of the screen. So if that was most of the population, then it's going to feel like the damage is too high. But I'm playing Chip. I couldn't do high damage unless I had meter and they were in the corner, right? So I'm playing a different game. So if they were only playing Chip, they wouldn't feel the damage is too high. So they're saying the damage is too high when in reality, Ramathal and Potemkin were just too fucking strong in terms of how they get their damage and how they get it. Like, I don't know. There's no telling what the tier list or whatever is. It's only like 3-4 days. But obviously there's an ease of conversion, right? Like damage conversion. Like the ease of it is way too easy as opposed to other characters. But that always could be that we haven't explored the other characters enough and maybe they have more options. But here's the other thing, though. When you simplify games, it becomes much easier to identify what is powerful. So
that's true.
So since the game isn't complicated, let's just say if it was like Exard or if it was like Plus Art, right? We wouldn't have optimal combos successful and consistent and ways to set them up at such an accuracy that we could accurately gauge to what damage is too high on the harder characters, unless we spent a ton of time. But let's just say Leo Whitefang was the best character, right? But he also had the highest damage output, and the highest damage came off of forward heavy slash, right? Then obviously people are going to gripe about it because it's not hard to land forward heavy slash into a back turn super and take 95% of someone's health, right? So that's where a complaint's going to come from. But since the whole game is like this now, it's a lot easier for people who are really good to sit down and be like, well, if I press forward heavy slash with pot twice in the corner, I win. Like, right? So obviously the strongest strategy that was prevalent was picking Ramathal and pot because they had the easiest conversions or the highest damage per like chance. And it just seemed really bad because that's just the conclusion that everyone came to. So there's no telling. The game, they may not have too high damage. It's just that we haven't used the tools. But the game is so simple now that pot mashing standing jab is legit.
Yeah, I think another aspect of that is how easy it is to punish. Like, pot is extremely difficult to punish. So even when he's wrong, at the worst, you might get to check it with a jab.
Yeah, and then at best,
you might keep going, yeah.
At worst, you get him with a jab, right? But if you fucking fuck up and you're negative 2, you're dead.
Yeah, so like that kind of thing can make the damage feel higher. And they blatantly said like this is part of the design, but maybe we did not implement it correctly. So like I appreciate that the way they went about that.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they're looking into it, I think if they just reach in there and give characters that are difficult, if they give the characters who are harder better damage on average, then people won't feel that way. Because right now, the technical characters have to mix you up 1,000 fucking times to get the same damage as Pot doing one fucking command throw. And it obviously is not going to feel good. In any game, right? In any fighting game you play, the higher skill characters are only fun if the payoff is to be stronger than the easier characters. And that's true in any fighting game. If the higher skill characters are the strongest characters, usually the gripes are kept to a minimum. They'll complain. Obviously, no one wants an unbalanced game, so everyone's gonna bitch about whatever they want. But if the highest character is the hardest one, and the easier ones are still effective, but they're not like as powerful, but you can see that they're really easy, and then you can like be more you can be consistent with them, then usually the gripes are kept to a minimum. But when the game is easy and the easiest characters are strong and the hardest characters in terms of technical ability are like average or weak, there is absolutely no way you can convince anyone to play those characters, because the investment of time is so high to do nothing, and it's really annoying. And it's how I felt when I played Heihachi and Tekken, where the reward is so far away from my grasp, and it would take years and years of mastery to even begin to enjoy this character. And then I have Lucky Chloe just fucking player just mashing kick, right? So he's enjoying the game now, right? He's been enjoying the game since he picked that character. I have yet to enjoy the game. So since that's the case, you're not gonna ever these technical characters that don't do more than the easier ones. There's absolutely no reason to ever stress yourself out and pick these characters outside of you just liking their like physically, like you just think they're cool. And I can understand why they say the damage is too high, because it seems like the characters that are technical right now don't do enough, and the ones that are easy kill you like instantly. So I can understand that. I can understand why they need to fix that. They need to make they either need to make the easier characters do a little less, or make the technical characters do a little more. Because right now it's that the easier characters do the most, and they're the most consistent, which is it's not a crime. It's just, why would you ever pick these other characters, right? Why would you ever do it unless you just love this character so much that you'll die for it? Because at the end of the day, are you gonna have fun if you spent 3 years of your life mastering Electric Wind Godfist, but the guy just does a hop kick? But in Guilty Gear, I guess the difference would be, I guess, mastering like a fucking 50-50 mix up that took like months and months and months of prep work, and then Pot just holds up after a regular throw and gets a fucking 50-50 cross up into another 50-50 that kills you. Like, would you want to be Melia? The dance around, do 4 or 5 dashes, and do like one 50-50 mix up? Or do you want to be Pot, who just fucking just walks forward and command throws, and does twice as much damage and that equally resets it? The only reason I bring this up is because there's cross-up protection in this game. So that means that you're better off just picking Pot. You don't need a cross-up. You just walk forward at somebody. It's way more gross than a cross-up. So I don't know. That they have to fix that, right? They need to get rid of cross-up protection, or make it so that the damage makes sense across the board for what you're doing. Because right now it's all over the fucking place. It's like, why would you pick this guy?
Well, it seems like they're going for the latter.
Yeah,
based on what they said on this blog, anyway.
Yeah, it looks like that's what they're doing. So we can hope that's what they do. Because I'm gonna try Eno. I'm gonna try Chip, and those characters meet the qualifications of low damage until they get meter. And I'm pretty sure that if they work that way, then they're not good. because that means any character in the game that can do high damage without meteor is effectively way stronger because there's no corner pressure, right? Because you break the wall after one combo. So the high damage on the high damage neutral plus the instant, because if you have high damage in neutral with no meter and then you kill someone when they get wall splat, you're way better than the guy that does no damage in neutral and then does one combo in the corner and then breaks you out the corner and they got to do it again and then put you in the corner again with this time with meter and then kill you. Like automatically you're already better if your neutral tools are good and you have high damage output. Because you only have to win once, and the other guy has to win 4 times.
Yeah, that's true. Alan Yoon actually made a tweet right round before he started this. He's like, I really don't like the wall break mechanic because it does make it hard to like come back and fight somebody. Not like a comeback mechanic, but like I'm winning, and then I finally get them in the corner, and then I gotta let them go once I break the wall, and then I gotta do it all over again from a big life deficit. And so like you said, if your character doesn't have those tools, coming back on somebody, even when your skill can be probably more difficult than it should be.
Yeah, because let's just say you're behind, right? And you fight your way out of the corner somehow, and then you push them against the corner. Then your character, if you're playing one of these characters that don't have high damage without meter, then you're going to break the corner, do no damage, and then you're going to knock them back into neutral, where you're going to lose anyway, because you ended up in the corner first because you lost neutral anyway. And then that guy probably has meter, because he already beats your ass, and you're probably already almost dead too, because, the damage output is way high. So you throw him out of the corner, so you forfeit the one position that you had where you could have gained meter passively and possibly loop them to win. And the characters that are neutral, or that are strong in neutral, when you knock them out of the corner, all you did was make them strong again. So it's not a good look. It's really bad right now. Like, to me, that's the most glaring problem with the game, is that characters that are neutral strong, I'm fine with that. I'm cool with characters being strong and neutral. I'm just not good at the game defaulting back to neutral, because all you're doing is making them stronger again. Like, no matter what character you play, if you play a mix-up character and you knock them out of the corner, you fucking forfeited your advantage. There's no way around. There's no positive to that. Because had they just stayed in the corner, you could have used your strong mix-up to finish them off. But when you put them back in neutral, all you did was give them a chance to possibly land a stray counter into death.
But pretty much the best you got is if you wall break with super, you get like a little safe jump. But even then, that's kind of crumbs.
Yeah, it ain't nowhere close to being able to do a mix-up over and over again. Hopefully, I don't know. That's gonna stay. Sadly, there's no way to get rid of the wall break. That's clearly they intended for that stupid mechanic to exist. So we're just gonna have to find a way around. We're either gonna have to find a way around it, or they're gonna have to give us an option to not do it. Right? They would have to give us a way to not break the wall. But as it stands, they thought of everything to make sure we broke the wall. I tried everything possible to make sure I couldn't break the wall, and no matter what, eventually you will rack up enough. Like, it's like a count. There's definitely a counter in that game where that goes off on the. There's probably a number in the game that accrues the more you hit them, even if you don't wall splat them. And if you do a single button that is above a fucking jab, you may just break them to the wall anyway. And whenever that number gets that high, then there's nothing you can do to avoid that. And it sucks too, because in order to avoid the wall break, you have to cut your combo short. So there's just no winning. They want you to do it over and over again. I hate this only exists, by the way, to help new players. There's no reason why this should exist. There's no design decision that was positive for this other than to help newer players not get completely thrashed in the corner. Because to me, that's what Guilty Gear is like. I think of like getting fucked in Guilty Gear. I think of just getting looped in the corner by some bullshit over and over again. That's what comes to mind with Guilty Gear to me. And most of these games that are really fast, I think of that. Getting fucked in the corner over and over again. And so, obviously, the solution is to get rid of a corner.
Can't mix me up if there's no corner.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Put me back in neutral? No. But we'll have to see what they do. I think the mechanic's dumb. I think it's terrible, and I don't think there's no positive way to look at it. So all we can see is how they minimize how annoying it is. I don't see any positives to knocking people out of the corner, winning or losing. Like winning or losing. If you're winning or losing, there's no positive to it, because if you're winning, you don't want to knock them out of the corner, and if you're losing, you don't want to accidentally knock them out of the corner because you just got rid of your only advantage of coming back. So this is no winning.
Yeah, like I can definitely see why they don't want people to just like get into the corner and die to stuff they can't really see or explain. But I think the way they did it was extreme. Like I think there are ways to kind of avoid that without just throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
Oh, you know how you avoid it? You put that replay function from plus R in there. And that's all you gotta do.
Well, I mean, like if that's what they specifically want in their design for people to not die, there is what I'm saying.
No, yeah, but what I'm saying is that they didn't want people to die. They should put that replay function from plus R in there. Because truly, if their biggest reason for people not to like be frustrated, right? They don't want frustration and then to quit. That's truly what they want to avoid. They don't want people that play this game to get upset and then leave and never come back. Because they know damn well that Jeremy, 12-year-old Jeremy, is gonna go play Fortnite if he fucking loses too hard in this game. And so to avoid that, they got rid of the corner. And in reality, all they did do is give Jeremy a way to actually look at himself getting screwed over. So not that he will do it. Obviously, it's a choice to get good. But let's just say he actually uses his head to stop losing. Then the option is there. As far as I'm concerned, not having that in there and taking the wall away is like the easy way out, right? There's games that do that. When they have a problem they can't fix, they just outright remove it instead of trying to solve the mystery. So the mystery to them was, how do we make the wall not frustrating? Well, get rid of it. That's their answer, because we're not going to figure it out. Fuck it, we're not going to figure out how to make the wall less frustrating. We're just going to get rid of the wall. That way, we don't have to worry about how to resolve this problem.
I don't actually think it's inherently bad to do that. Like whether someone gets frustrated about it, putting that aside, like if they specifically just like, we don't want the win condition to be like you get knocked down in the corner and you die there. Like regardless of who feels frustrated about it, that's respectable for them as devs to kind of pursue that. I just don't like the absolute answer they did with just going back to neutral straight from the corner, because like they made the game high damage because they wanted you to like win in like 1 or 2 like hot exchanges. Like you playing around and you're pawing at your opponent and you finally get that big hit. And so like I guess they didn't want that concept to be like, well, you get that big hit, massive damage, now guess for your life. They wanted the whole game to be about that moment, which I can respect that if that's the vision they have, but I just don't specifically like the answer they put in for this.
Well, it's not a... You know what? It's funny because if they don't want to die, they should have put in defensive mechanics that would counter something like that, right? But since they tied roaming cancel to 50%, that means that the defensive roaming cancel is expensive, and if you're losing, and you're not going to have 50% if you're losing, but if you did, then you forfeit your one way to win, because not every character is pot in ROM, right? So
that is true.
And so if you're like a fast, speedy character, or if you're like a character that's technical, or if you're a character that's like maybe the neutral's not very strong, when you forfeit that 50%, your conversions are going to be inherently weak, and your damage to the output is going to be much weaker than the character that don't need meter to do anything. So I don't know. Just they could have had more nuance to it. Obviously, you're saying you don't like it either, but it's definitely they took the easy way out.
I don't look at it as them taking the easy way out. They do the thing that some people actually say is like, well, you should win and lose in the game by neutral, and that's what they did. Like for better or for worse, whether you like it or not, I think that's what they chose to do. Is that you die with freedom instead of like limiting guest situations.
Well, no,
either or is valid, but go ahead.
You know why it's the easy way out? Because you can't take away, because they're trying to solve the issue of not making people frustrated, right? So it's the easy way out because they took away throw invincibility on DPs, and they made it so you can't throw burst. So obviously they were just shifting the game with the easiest possible solutions, as opposed to like looking at the game as a whole. People don't like DP. All right, throw them out. People don't like burst. People really hate to get their burst on. All right, get rid of it.
I mean, you can still block and punish people.
Yeah, but you can't throw it. What is the purpose of it then? Why would you get rid of throwing the burst? Like literally, you gotta answer me. Why would they get rid of that outside of just getting rid of people's frustration of getting their burst thrown? Like I just
no idea. I mean, because like the alternative of block and punish it is far worse.
Yeah, but
you can even punish gold burst in this game like that, which you couldn't do in Zerd.
But that's why I'm saying. That's what I'm getting at. Why would they do it then?
Man, it's new year, new you.
Whatever. No, it's because they don't want people to get pissed off. Because you know what? Getting your burst thrown is 100 times more aggravating than getting properly punished.
But for somebody who's never played the game, why would that be a problem?
Because they would never see it come out.
No, I'm saying like, why would that be a problem if you've never played the game before? Like, why would you wouldn't even know about getting your burst thrown and stuff like that?
Oh, well, it'd be a problem. Are you talking about why would it be more frustrating to get your burst off for a new player?
No, I mean, like, if I was a new player and I turned on Strive, why would I even care about that?
You wouldn't care until you got your burst thrown.
No, I mean, in the game that you can't throw your burst. Like, where?
Well, no, you don't care about that. But that's why they got rid of it. Because all it does serve is to make the guy upset. Right? Because you're saying the damage is way higher to block and punish. So if you throw someone's burst, you're really just doing it to piss them off. So they just did it just to make the guy who's getting his burst thrown not as upset. Because obviously that's the most disrespectful shit you could do. That's the only purpose. It's the only purpose it serves. Because otherwise, you're saying you're saying that why do they care? Because it's not there. So why does a new player care if it's there or not? Which is true, but there's no reason for it to not be there because it's less effective in every way.
If it's arbitrary, then what is their actual rub?
Oh, for what do you mean for like why? What's the purpose of it being there if it's arbitrary?
You said if it's arbitrary, why does it matter if it's there or if it isn't there?
Oh, because why? Okay, I got a question for you. Did you play Street Fighter 4 when it came out?
I did.
Okay. Why'd they take out the hard knock? Why'd they take out the ability to hit them after you knock them out?
Oh God, this guy. That's what you gonna get at?
No, answer me. Why'd they take out why'd they make it so you can't hit people after you knock them out?
I don't know, man. Answer me.
No. You know why. Don't pretend like you don't know why. It's the same reason why you can't throw the burst. It's just upsetting. So
man, you just mad somebody took like the peas off your plate. You'd be all right.
Man. No. There's no. Well, the whole point of the conversation is that they're making decisions to make people not upset, right? Newer players.
That was your conclusion.
Yeah, that's my conclusion. That's what I'm talking about. They are making decisions that will ease new players into not being upset as easily to make them avoid scenarios that will make them get angry quick, right? That's why there's no wall to me. That's why they removed the wall. That's why DPs are throwable, and that's why you can't throw bursts. Because I draw this conclusion because the burst. Because the other two could be seen as balance decisions. But the burst throw is the least effective way to punish it. So why is it not throwable? Other than the fact that it pisses them off. Because it's in every game. And it was in the game. It existed in the prior beta. So why is it? Yeah. So why is it not there now?
I don't know, man.
You know why I'm trying to get you to. I'm forcing you to agree why it's not there. It's to not make them upset. That's the only reason I can come to, because if something exists as a less effective method and they just remove it, there's no reason for it to get removed because it's less effective. There's way more things to worry about.
You can literally make the argument that it's pointless because it's less effective. So why put it in?
No. I'm saying it's not in because it makes them upset. And
right, man.
There's no, but you're right. There's no reason for it to exist because it's less effective. But why can't I throw the burst? That's the.
All right, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you can't throw the burst.
You know, you lucky. I'd have thrown the shit out of your burst. All they did was make it so I can't throw people's burst at 1 HP. That's all they did. For what reason? Because you're right. There's no reason to do it because you could just punish them for real. But you know, it's the same reason why you can't fucking knock someone out in Street Fighter 4 and then press a taunt button. Like, it's just that's why they did it, to not make them mad.
All right, man. So they don't want you making people mad. I got you.
Okay. I mean, you may not agree with my conclusion, but it doesn't make it less of a conclusion. Because
you're right about that.
Well, okay. I want your take. Why would you believe that they removed the throwable burst? Like, so, what gameplay implications does it have?
I don't know if I have a take on it. I guess I just don't think it matters.
Well, it don't matter, but what is the implications of it getting removed? Because there's implications to gameplay decisions, right? So, you know, like, they got rid of the hard knockdowns in most scenarios, right? And they added a really disgusting dash startup, right? But we can understand why, right? We can look at it and understand they made air dashes slower because they're not trying to overwhelm people, right? They don't want you to have strong air mobility. That's a conclusion we can draw. Now, why would they remove something that doesn't hurt nobody and is the least effective way of doing something? There has to be a motive, right? So what could you possibly think would make someone arbitrarily remove a throwable burst while simultaneously making DPs throwable?
Maybe they just want to consolidate making your blocking skills rewarding, man.
Oh, okay.
They just want to make it intuitive. You block and punish.
Yeah, God forbid someone try to do the way harder thing, which is fucking throw a burst.
See, nah.
They clearly removed that shit because I'm dying on this hill. If they removed that burst throw specifically to make people who are new not pissed off, because there's no other reason that could possibly exist.
Why don't you write into the blog, man, and tell them and ask them why they did it so they can put it on here as a question for next time.
Okay, I'll be like, hey, Devs, why the fuck did you make it so I can't throw Johnny's burst? Little Jimmy. Well, you see, we didn't want Little Jimmy to quit and go do go floss. Because if you throw Little Jimmy's burst, he might go buy V-Bucks. And then we'll never see him again. Okay, thanks for being honest with me, because Coach won't be.
Little Jimmy with tears in his eyes, I can't get my first throw in Fortnite.
He just fucking, I could just imagine Little Jimmy getting his burst thrown and he starts crying. Like, why would he do that? It's not optimal. Mom, where's your credit card?
You're clearly a very clever crafter of stories. A very detailed tales. At least I find this scenario funny.
This thing, we'll never know because I can't throw the fucking burst.
Yeah, you got Schrodinger's burst out there. You don't know if they're upset or not.
Because, I mean, far be it from me to fucking throw someone's burst and send them a message like, yeah, how you like that shit?
You know what you sound like? You sound like a Hime cut.
Oh,
he was watching me in tournament one time, and I actually did block and punish the person. He looked at me. It was at the end of the round, and he looked at me. He's like, "Why did you throw it?" I'm like, "Huh?" I'm like, "Oh, it's just easy to block and punish." Why did you throw it? You got to send a message.
It's funny too. I'd be doing shit like that too, because like if you block a burst with jam, it's 100 times better than throwing it. But just gotta throw it sometimes, just to show them that you knew. And therefore, whatever they're gonna do after this, you know about that shit too.
Oh Lord!
See, I lost the mental mix-up.
Oh boy! I knew you were gonna make this gymnastics go back to the gameplay. They were gonna get mad, and they were gonna mess up the next decision.
Yeah, exactly. See, I lost. They make me block and punish now, but I lost a mental mix-up because now they don't know for sure that I know. But
I want to know that I wasn't ready. I was just ready for it. I had my arms open.
Yeah, now my arms look closed. I look defenseless almost. I can't. Oh, he blocked the punish. Yeah, because I blocked the punish. That means I was holding back. Clearly, I'm weak right now. Had I thrown it, I would have been aggressive, and clearly I know them because I'm holding forward and pressing throw in the air. A throw button, which means I could have only went for the throw on the burst. But since I held back, that means I don't know what's going on. But I got lucky, and I'm defensive. You see what you did? You see what Arcsys did to me? They don't know they did this to me, but they did this to me. Now I look like a bitch.
I guess you're in the red here in the battle system.
Oh yeah, I was in the red for sure. You see that little sliver on fucking character animations? That was me.
Oh Lord.
Oh man. But yeah, I'll stop talking about the throwable burst. I mean, I couldn't let it go though. I just can't. It seems like such a. It seems. Only reason I bring it up because it really does remind me of when they took away my ability to sweep people after fucking knocking them out in Street Fighter 4. I used to sweep everybody like fuck you, like every time. Hard knockdown after knockout, but they got rid of that. Why? Because I'm toxic. Yeah. That's why. I got rid of my only way to be toxic in fighting games. Now I have to settle for talk cancel animations.
Man, I gotta be a good sport.
I can't just rub it in after the round's over. Great. You see more.
So I guess. Go ahead, man.
I was like, this. You know what? Never mind.
I spent 50 minutes talking.
Yeah, we'll keep it moving. Okay, so the next thing they were talking about after the damage being too high was the Roman cancels. Apparently the consensus that they feel limited, and they do. And it's not that they're, to me, not that they're limited because of what they can do, because really what they can do is technically not that different from before. Mm-hmm. But I think how expensive they are and supers existing and doing a lot of damage as they are, then it's just like there's just not really room to offensively use Roman cancels without feeling like you wasted a bunch of meter.
Because it's like everything comes at a premium.
Yeah, like you spend 50 meter for offense. That's really what it is. Like you spend 50% of your meter to be offensive for like 3 seconds. So that's really what it comes down to. The YRC, the defensive one, that feels okay. But the offensive use of the Roman cancel definitely feels lackluster compared to plus R. And it's only because it has the effect of the slowdown of Exard without the advantage. So Exard's YRC feels insanely powerful. All the Roman cancels feel insanely powerful because you have so many things you can do, and your opponent's practically defenseless because he has to also Roman cancel to counter the time slow effect. But in this game, the time slow is not strong, which is good, but it exists, which is bad. Like, I think if they just got rid of the part where you fucking JoJo pose and then flex and dash, and if it was just instant, it probably would feel stronger because that would make your opponent have to think on his feet, right? He would have to think instantly. But since the screen freezes, you flex and then you choose a direction, it gives your opponent ample time to be like, oh, he's Roman canceling on me. As opposed to like plus R, where if I Roman cancel with Chip Xanath after a teleport, you have 0.3 seconds to react. And I think that's why Roman cancels just feel like, they just feel lackluster. They just feel like a way to get the opponent to the corner. And they just feel like a way to barely extend your damage. And the supers hurt way more. They have way more potential in the super. So the Roman cancels just purely exist for confirms. The mix-ups just don't feel strong enough. Unless you're Pot, right? Because the stakes are high when Pot does a Roman cancel. That's really... I don't know. Obviously,
I know. I've been seeing like people mention also the fact that there's no 25 meter option. So it's like there's a bunch of like it just feels like a bunch of all or nothing. Like you know, you going all in on defense or all in on offense. It is no like 25-meter option. So it's like you're building up your reservoir of meter, and you got to use it at that critical moment. Which you can argue there's good elements to that concept, but maybe they can like go about it better.
yeah. I mean, I like the all or nothing. That's how Sam Show works. But in a game like Guilty Gear, it doesn't really match up because Sam Show is not Guilty Gear. Sam Show is slow, and everything has a high cost, right? Even pressing a button is a high price. But in Guilty Gear, you're trying to fit as many things you can do at once as fast as possible while maneuvering the screen. So things being high priced in that game for minimal returns does not feel good because you're already running around pressing a bunch of shit. So why should pressing Roman cancel cost 50% meter when all you do is dash forward, right? Or like I said, it's only for combo confirms, and it's not even really good ones either, unless you're like top tier, right? That's the only characters.
Oh yeah. I can make use of 50-meter.
Oh yeah,
cancels, all right.
yeah. That's it. If you're really good, if you're a good ass character, your returns are ridiculous. But if you're like not the best or like pot, then you're not. Your returns they fall off pretty quick. Why when I spend 50% meter as Giovanna or like Chip, unless it was in the corner, it wasn't really worth that much. It was only to get them to the corner, just to get them out of the corner again. But yeah, I can see why people would say that, and they agree. They're gonna go for it. And they're not. They didn't explain what they're gonna do.
Yeah, I think they said it's gonna adjust meter game.
Yeah,
but they didn't really say too much.
They didn't explain it at all. Not much to say about that. And the last thing they talked about was getting rid of infinites, which is should be plainly obvious they don't want that. And
yeah, it's like they're just gonna put a SMT in there, same move pro or SMP and same move proration, and then just make them like basically not worth it.
Yeah, I don't even know how proration works in Guilty Gear in terms of like how to, because this game doesn't follow that rule. Obviously, this game, I don't think there's hit stun deterioration. I think you're just in the air or you're not in the air.
I think you fall faster.
Yeah, it pushes you further away and you fall faster, right?
Yeah, but in this game, but there are certain loops that kind of bypass that anyway, like Giovanna and stuff like that.
So my thing is, how did like XR and plus R do? Did they just have like hit stun deterioration?
Yeah, it's hit stun deterioration. It's based on like your starter and what you follow through with. So you can't just hit somebody just because you had them in hit stun. So like sometimes like if you have them hit stun the case so bad, like even if you're chaining, they'll still be able to take out.
Unless you chip, just mass jab. Pop, 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 pop. Yeah, you can't escape the chip jab chain. But I don't know. You would think they would do the same thing in this game. That's why I'm confused. Like, the combos are short, and you don't really need hit stun deterioration. But wouldn't that just solve it? I don't really know. Not really sure why they don't do it.
No idea.
I really don't know why they don't do it like that. They just opted for this weird push them further back tech. It makes certain combos you wish don't work too. That's the crazy part, because it seems like all roundhouses in this game, not roundhouses. It makes all dusts in this game just send them fucking flying. Like they just go fucking flying. And so if you're doing a Gatling in the air, you're really limited to how many you can chain, because the buttons don't chain very well together, and then certain buttons just send them fucking flying. So I don't know. It's just they're trying to limit the what you can do as a combo while also infinite somehow existing because of certain scenarios. So I don't know. We're probably gonna get less. I think if they do what they're intending on doing, we'll probably have even less combos to do, which is kind of bad because we already don't have many as it is. But we'll have to see. I can't see them taking away while adding. Most times when games have problems like this, they just end up taking away, or they just leave it in because the rarity of it happening is so rare that it's not worth the concern. like Abel having the jab and the stand medium kick loop. They just left it forever because the odds of you doing the stand jab and the stand medium kick loop is so high. Like the odds of it are so low, and then doing it successfully are so low. There's really no reason to look into making stab jab not +8 on a meaty, right? So they're just like, fuck it, just don't mess with it, just leave it. They're not gonna do it anyway. Now I don't know how easy Giovanna's is. If it's easy, then that has to go. But
Yeah, I think what's going to end up happening is that they'll either fall out faster or the damage will fall off really fast, and they'll just like fall out of it naturally at some point. But we'll see.
the only reason I say it's gonna be bad if they just because if they make it so that people just don't fall out of shit just for the sake of if they make it so people fall out of specific shit like the infinites, then it's gonna affect regular combos too, because that means that the hit stun is gonna also apply to those guys, and so maybe certain combos are gonna suffer because
Maybe, but the way they worded it was like, say hitting the opponent with the same move will make them float less. So like if you're doing Giovanna, the back and forth loop where you just keep knocking them up, I'm guessing the knockup will not go up that high after a certain number of times you do it, and you just won't be able to get enough frame advantage for the like the nth loop.
Maybe that combo looks just like the Cerebella combo from like back in the day. Oh, did you ever play Skullgirls back in the day?
I didn't play it around like when it first came out. I played it later.
It's fun. It's the same combo. So Cerebella could loop certain characters. I think it was like 2 characters, and you would she has a move where she like points her fingers up in the air and she's like excellent, and she puts up like her index and her pinky, and she does like the rock on symbol. So if she hits you with that, and it would put the character right above them in a float. So what would happen is if you were really, really light, there was like only 2 characters, I think. Then you could do like that. It would float them above her, and then by the time you landed, since you were so light, you could get another button in. So she could loop somebody for like, this is back before they patched the game and made it so that you can't use the same button twice in a loop. Because before you could do stand jab, crouch jab, stand light kick, crouch light kick, stand medium kick, crouch medium kick. Now you can only do stand jab, stand light kick, stand medium kick, like only once. You can't do stand and crouch jab in the same combo without it automatically letting them burst. So you could loop it like 9 times, 10 times before you would run out of buttons to keep the loop going. So they would be dead for sure. It's exactly the same combo. Like if I showed you the combo, it works exactly the same. But the difference is that Giovanna's is even easier because it's just one button plus the flip. Like it's just one button plus flip. Luckily, everyone said the rollback was good. Right below this, the infinites, everyone's just like, yeah, rollback was good. Someone put bad. I don't know who did that.
It might have been somebody who might have had like some of the bad experiences, because I did see some Twitter videos where it's like glitching all over the place. And like just one of those bad experiences can set somebody off.
It's fun. You know, it's crazy to me because that shit is gonna happen. Like if you had one bad experience out of like 70 games you played, it's gonna happen, man. There ain't shit you can do about it because there's an unfathomable amount of reasons why the netcode, why the internet on both sides could have possibly taken a shit for 30 seconds. Like, I was a cable man for 10 years, right? The wind could have blown a little too hard.
Yeah.
So, don't do that. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy.
Fair, man. It's just like 3%, man.
Yeah, it is. But, I feel like that shit is literally the clout chasing shit. I think when people post shit like that, and it's obvious it's just 1 out of like 100 games, they're just doing it for the retweets. Because look at my crazy game! And instead of looking at the fact that they played the game 150 times and they only had one bad game, like, come on now. Like, be reasonable. It's funny as like hard on these companies as I am for the netcode.
Mm-hmm.
As a man who worked in fucking telecom, I can find the middle ground. Like I can understand what is the netcode and what is possibly the issue with, server connectivity or fiber runs or the wind blew too hard. There's so much shit that could go. I bring up the wind blow too hard. You want to know why I bring that up? So
why, man?
So the cable or even the phone or however it's ran, the fiber, if it's not ran correctly and it's possible it might be slightly loose or it's damaged because even squirrels go up there and chew the fucking cable. If the wind blows, it can crack the cable or it can even open up the fiber, and if the wind blows, it will bend it because in the air the lines are stretched across, so they're pretty tight. So when they sway left or right, it'll bend a little bit, and they're not the tightest shit ever, but it's a lot of weight on it. So when the wind blows, they sway, and when it cracks open, if it's cable, the RF escapes, and the RF in the air enters, and when that happens, it disrupts all the signals that are used for everything, and it muddies that shit up. But it can happen only when the wind blows or when it rains. So if the wind blows, it's like thousands and thousands and thousands of miles of cable, and if anywhere between you and that other guy there's a crack. There may be a problem once in a while when the wind blows, or if there's raining. If your cable always goes out when it rains, either your line going to your house is bad, or a line on the outside of your house, like if it's wrapped around your house, maybe it has a crack on it, or it's like open, so when it rains, the water gets inside. Or there may be a crack in the line on the outside of the road, so when it rains, it gets fucking water inside. So if you're ever wondering why the fuck does my internet always fucking go out when it rains, the water just gets inside. And you can't hold these guys with making the netcode responsible, because no matter what they do, that shit is going to take a horrible shit on your fucking quality. Because when that happens, the packets are dropped everywhere. And the information is just not going to reach that dude. So it's going to skip. So be more lenient on the netcode, guys, in terms of like once every fucking 200 games. Now, if it's like Street Fighter 5, where once every like 10 games is fucking skipping around like fucking crazy, then that's something else. But if it's like once every 200 games, you have like one laggy match, and there are 200 different people, you should be happy, because that means you played like fucking 199 different people with all different variances and connectivity. There's so many possibilities with if it could be good or bad. If it works good 199 times, you got a winner. Because at that point, huh?
I said that is true.
Yeah. Like that's amazing. That's the best you could want in a fighting game. But yeah, the rollback got received pretty well. There's that little tiny sliver of people that said very bad for whatever reason. They may have had their own set of problems. They might have bad internet, or maybe they may be referencing the lobby mode. I mean, if they only played the lobby mode, it may just feel like shit because the lobby is shit. So
yeah, the question does say, please rate the comfort of the online battle. So that is kind of vague.
Yeah, so if they just perceived online battle as my online experience, then if they rated it bad because of that, then I can understand, because the lobby was shit. But that's pretty much the end of the dev notes. The only thing they say after that is that there's going to be a second beta test, which the game is supposed to come out next month, right? So
June.
So 2 months from now. So it's got to have another beta next month, or this month.
You did forget something, man. We didn't talk about jumping is too strong.
Oh fuck! How did I skip that? Okay.
Yeah, you skipped it because you talked about throwing bursts.
You should have let me throw the burst. That's also why jumping is too strong. Why can't I throw the burst? The burst ain't nothing but an invincible jump.
This guy.
So jumping is too strong. They said that because it's fucking true. For some reason, I guess since this game is very different from the other Guilty Gears to me, and they may not have considered making people anti-airable. Just to preface this conversation, in this game as it is, you can't actually anti-air anyone if they don't press a button. You have to throw them out of the air, which is a high risk, low reward, by the way. Mm-hmm. And so, if you can't anti-air someone, that means if they don't press anything, that means they can just jump without punishment, and the punishment is very minimal. And it also makes it very difficult for you to answer it, because if they hold up backwards, then they can just exit any mix-up scenario you would want to place upon them, unless you spend like 50% in order to keep them grounded. And it's very weak. That makes a lot of characters very weak, except for Pot. Obviously, Pot can, for some reason, his air command throw doesn't air command throw you, but it actually puts you back on the ground to be command thrown on the ground.
Yeah, that was funny when I was in Discord. I feel like I'm so mad that that I can't grab people with heat knuckle. I'm like, you dropped it right in front of you with frame advantage. It's even better.
Yeah, it's frame advantage, dude. They are stuck there. It's scary. It's even better now because you're the only one in the game with an anti-air mix-up. But yeah, so jumping is way too strong, because if you're trying to make a game grounded and neutral based, you don't want to make your jumps fucking unstoppable, because then now your jumps are just mix-ups. Like, the jumping is just mix-ups, because if you jump forward and don't press anything and they DP, which is funny because I guess they thought about that because the DP sends them fucking flying, so it makes it so you can't punish the DP for some reason. I don't know if that's good or bad. Like, for
anti-air.
Yeah, you ain't getting anti-air, but the DP isn't punishable, so I don't know. But you know, it's not good design decision to make a game grounded, but no anti-air is strong. Right now, anti-airs are fairly weak. DPs are weak. For I kind of touched on it that you can throw DPs. I really don't know why they did that. It seems to be a trend, and I don't know why they do that. I don't know why they make DPs. The trend right now is that I say DP, but you know, I guess the best way to say it, invincible wake up options right now are, since in the past like 5 years, 6 years. I think 5 started it really, but the wake up DPs have been gradually becoming more and more less effective, and while retaining the punishment for doing it. So DPs become weaker, and then they also become a counter hit state. So I don't understand what direction they're trying to make, where DPs don't anti-air someone in a grounded game, or it's supposed to be grounded anyway. That's what they want. And
well, I mean, at least they acknowledged it.
Yeah, they said they're gonna touch it, but that doesn't mean they're gonna make DP stronger, right?
Yeah, not that.
They're probably gonna leave the invincible wake up options throwable, which is dumb, and they're also probably gonna make it so that they're more punishable. I think they leave you in counter hit state. Pretty sure. I don't know why they would, but I'm pretty sure they do. Funny story, Leo's is so when Chip does his beta blade, it sends the guy full screen. Now, why? I don't know. Like, when they block it, they go flying to the opposite side of the screen. Now, Leo's, on the other hand, does not send them flying on the other side of the screen, so you get a full punish on him. Why? I don't really know. They're both throwable. One's a charge, but it's more punishable than Beta Blade. Like, I don't know. It's reminding me of Street Fighter V a lot, where Bullhorn is just as good as a fucking wake up reversal. But back in the day, it was anyway. They kind of moved the hitbox back where it's supposed to be. But Bullhorn was practically a walk up Shoryuken.
Yeah,
that was plus on V trigger on block, and if you landed it, you won practically. But it wasn't crush counterable on block. But Ryu, who's neutered DP, is not invincible at all to hits, is fucking crush counterable for some reason. Like it doesn't make sense to take away what it's meant to do and then making it the most punishable move in the game, right? It doesn't, because now you have a move that does nothing, and it's the most punishable move in the game. So that's kind of where I'm at with the invincible reversals in this game. Where why would they not be throw invincible? Like I just don't understand. Because the punishment should be that you eat a full combo. But now the punishment is that they could throw you out of it, and you could also potentially eat a full combo. It's not like you can't just safe jump the damn things anyway. Because this is Guilty Gear. We're gonna find safe jumps. So I don't know. I know I'm going off a tangent because we're talking about jumping, but that it goes hand in hand when jumping because you can't. If they jump on you and don't press anything, and you wake up DP, they're not gonna get hit. So it's like jumping is too strong right now because it doesn't require resources to stay safe, and a lot of the moves that hit you out of the air, you can block them anyway, and it puts you further away from them, making you safe again. You know what's more dangerous? So if let's just say jab. Let's say I did an anti-air jab, but you blocked it because you can't be anti-air because that's just how they went with it. The fact that the jab sends you full screen again instead of dropping you right next to me is actually bad for the guy defending because it just puts the guy back in a location where he's safe and he's not really in any danger of a mix-up. So the jumping being the way it is now is definitely way too powerful. I'm just explaining. I'm sorry, Coach, if I'm going off too long. I'm just trying to explain to whoever's listening why being able to block in the air without meter versus all options is bad when it resets neutral in a way that puts you at advantages again. Like it's just not a good recipe. But I mean, did you feel like it was too strong? I don't know. You didn't really play too much, right?
Nah, I didn't. I mean, like I looked at enough footage, and it's like, yeah, because I keep mentioning Pot because he's the easy option. But yeah, it's like if he's jumping at you, you got this tank that can murder you, and then all you can do is just kind of like swat him away or go for the air throw and hope he wasn't looking for it. And you look at it, and like we were joking with the bursting, but I think there probably is an element of that with the new players for this because you got a character like Axel in the game who I feel like when someone starts Guilty Gear, he's like the big bottleneck to understanding and learning the game because you can't do all the fancy movements and stuff that you want because he can just hit you out of it. It's like you specifically have to start looking like I got an FD jump or I got an FD break, and you start. It's like almost like a tutorial. Like I got to start learning to use my meter to control my movements, to bait people, to look out, to make them, whiff, and so I can gain space gradually, or even make the big read and go in. And so like that concept's not in the game now, and you like in Strive, you don't really have to play against Axel like that. You can force your jump at him, and if he doesn't, test you with air jump, then we just keep going back and forth until he's wrong. But like in the game with FD, where you have to FD to block and Strive, Axel will probably like become that much stronger. And I think he's the type of character that, for the average, I guess not average, but for the entry level person, is probably going to be a huge wall. So I'm curious how they're addressing it because I don't think they're just going to just slap FD jumps in there. I think what they're going to do is this is my opinion of what they might do. I think they're going to take certain moves and give them an anti-air property. And so sort of like a Persona, how it was, where some moves with most things were air unblockable, or most things were air blockable, but certain moves were air unblockable. So I think that's what they're gonna do. That's my prediction because I don't think they want to go all in on the FD jumps again, which I think they probably should. But I think they still don't want to like unleash Axel on the average entry level person. So I think that's what they're gonna do.
Well, what bothers me is that they chose to. They're obviously trying to make a new game for the most part with Strive, right? This is not like the older Guilty Gears in any way, in terms of how they want to approach it. But they brought 6P back, so why they know why 6P exists, right? It's an anti, right? So it would have made sense to at least make 6P anti-air because it's universal. Everyone has a 6P. So I don't know. It just seems weird. It seems like a really big miss to just not. They'll probably do what you said though. They'll probably make DPs anti-air. They'll probably make 6P anti-air. Maybe some 6Hs or some, maybe 6 heavy slash. Like some people's neutrals heavy slash, maybe it'll anti-air. Or maybe two heavy slash. But not everyone's 2 heavy slash is the same, right? So the most universal way to look at it is 6P and then like reversals. That's probably the way they're gonna look at it. I hope they make it FD again because that's the best answer.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because if you just make it so they have to spend FD to defend themselves, maybe they're way more obligated to stay on the ground at this point. But I mean, if they were afraid of people jumping, they're obviously afraid of people jumping. Because why else would you make the air jump trash? So it's so weird that they were afraid of making people jumping good that they would neuter air dash, but at the same time make it so you don't have to FD.
Yeah, it does seem contradictory because, like, you look at it because we were talking about earlier about the meter options, and then he's like, because go back to the Axel example for it, and then like you have to now spend FD to jump in on him, but now you can't like kill him if you hit him, you know. So like those are decisions. So they might have to like if they go that far, they might have to like rethink how they're doing the whole thing.
Yeah. It just seems like they were caught between doing two things. They were caught between trying to make a new game and bringing old shit over. This is really what it is. They were trying to, because if they had just never brought these, if they just left the Guilty Gear characters the way they were, and didn't make a brand new game for them like this. Let's just say they made a brand new fighting game with new characters and everything, like Blaze Blue, right? Let's just say they do their Blaze Blue, and they did this shit. Then maybe they wouldn't have made such mistakes like this. But since they were trying to redesign the whole fighting system for characters that don't belong in them, because my problem is that this game, these Guilty Gear characters do not belong in this game, because the way these characters were created for, what they were created for, is at odds with what they want, which is a grounded, heavy fighting game with some air movement. Wait, that's not oppressive, by the way. They want that. They want a non-oppressive, neutral-based fighting game with air movement as an option. Now, you picked the worst game possible for that.
Well, I mean, to be fair, they did rework some of the characters, just not all of them.
Yeah,
I think they didn't want to like rework like Soul.
Yeah, but what I'm getting at is that they picked this game that is the opposite of those things, and they just jamming these characters into the game, and the character's like, ah, and they're like, oh, it'll fit, just break his arm. And they like break his arm. Like, there you go. Now you can't do wake up DP. Now you fit in here. Like that's what that shit looks like to me. Like the fucking Leo. Well, Leo came in okay because he's already grounded, but they jammed fucking Soul in there, and to get him to fit in there, they broke his fucking arm. And by breaking his arm, they fucking took away the invincible DP on throws. Like, and they got him in there. They fitted him in there, right? But as a consequence, he's the way he is now, and he doesn't really. These characters don't all belong in the system very well. The ones that do belong very well are characters like Ramlethal, who were made completely brand new, and Pot, who thrives in a game that exists like this. So I don't know. This whole jumping is too strong, and these things they're working through right now is a consequence of taking pre-existing characters and then trying to force them into a system that the characters were not designed for. So they're constantly having to rework things around them and make them less and less the way they were and more the ways they need to be in order to win. But that's all I gotta say. I feel like that's just why they're like this right now. It's not bad or good. I don't like it. I'd rather just have a Guilty Gear game where the characters were the best of the way they could be. But you know, there's obvious reasons why they don't make brand new games with new characters, because you know they want to not spend money on developing brand new entities, because creating a whole new world, like doing world building, is not something people want to have to do if they already have an existing IP that's well known, right? You don't want to have to make a brand new fighting game every single year, right? You don't want to have to do that. You would rather use your existing IP with its existing world and its existing fans and make money off of them. Because if just look at Capcom, they had like SNK. There's like so many fighting games that will never exist again.
Yeah.
But they just settled on King of Fighters, right? They practically just settled on King of Fighters. They were just like, okay, this is the world that is making us the most money. So instead of fine-tuning the most popular King of Fighters over and over again and adding some slightly new mechanics, we're just gonna kind of rework the characters a little bit. But SNK doesn't really do anything too drastic to their characters. You know, they do like I think they remove like one move or two moves and then add one move. Like,
I mean, it depends on how you look at it, right? Because you have like like 5 different versions of Kyo and Iori movesets out there.
yeah, they definitely went ham on Kyo and Iori. But they're the main boys, so I think that's why they got that treatment. And you know what's fucked up is that they give you the old one anyway, right? So it's like,
yeah,
how can you complain? You got the old one too. So, I don't like this Kyo.
I want my fireball back. Okay.
Okay, here you go. Here's Kyo 98. Thanks. Well, you can't complain at that point. You get the whole Kyo anyway. But
it's a conflict when you have a legacy. Like, you obviously you want to use it, but then you get like obviously new people in, or people who just like, I want to do something new and cool with the new world, and you kind of like latched with between this. Like, I gotta give people what they wanted before, but with good execution. But I want to mix it up. I have this vision, and it's hard to like get that to older people. So it's like it's a conflict, and I understand it. And so like something like Guilty Gear Strive is just gonna be rough by nature of it. And so, like, maybe they might come up with something like they really like, or they might go back, or they might even discover something like brand new that surpasses both things. So, like, it is definitely a risk to like mess with a legacy property and reinterpret it with a new way. But you know, sometimes it can pay off. But like, I like the fact that they're like going out of their comfort zone, even if I ultimately don't like the result of it. If that makes sense.
I mean, you like the attempt, but my point is that they could just very well have just made a brand new fighting game without Guilty Gear on the title, right?
And maybe they wanted to use those characters.
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
Really,
they do it for financial reasons, though. That's what I'm getting at. Like, there's a financial reason for not making brand new shit. That's why Capcom only makes 3 games now.
Yeah, a lot of studios are kind of in that vortex where they find like the strong IPs that work, and they just reiterate them, expand them.
You know how many,
that makes sense.
You know how many games Capcom used to make? It was crazy. You know, I was looking through okay, so I'm about to mod my Dreamcast, and I'm waiting for One Piece for it. I'm waiting for the GDMU. Now, while I was waiting for this, I was looking through all the games that the library for the Dreamcast existed, like what was in there. Capcom has made a ton of games on that console I've never heard of, and I was like thinking back to my childhood and how many games Capcom made for me as a kid, not named Street Fighter and Monster Hunter and Resident Evil, right? So there are tons of games Capcom used to make, tons. And companies now have decided that now that they have legacy titles, that it's not even close towards trying to start some new shit when they could just take the old shit and just reimagine it in some kind of way and retain the fan base, right? Because making some new shit is really difficult in this day and age when the established shit. Why do you think there's 1,000 Modern Warfares? They could have just called it the Modern Warfare, like 1,000 Call of Duties, right? They could have called it anything else. They could have made a new Call of Duty, called it Duty Calls, right? And it would not have made anywhere close as much money.
I mean, that's the power of brand recognition. I agree.
So that's why we're getting this Guilty Gear quote unquote game, because making a brand new fighter is just too difficult for it. It's like a niche game. It's a niche environment where losses are probably not welcoming at all, and it's very difficult to put your foot in. So I feel like we're in this limbo right now for fighting games of established IPs of fighting games. So every company probably that makes fighting games probably has like one fighter that's known, and will probably not get any more ever again.
And not count like third party stuff.
Yeah, so so we have that. We have big companies with one fighter that survived the fucking 20 years, and then we have indie titles and third party titles, which they have the freedom to try whatever, right? Because they're fucking, they don't have no established IP, they don't have any reason to like appeal to brand recognition, and so they can just kind of do what they want. So then that's why you have games like Skullgirls, and then it's Fighting Herds, right? They're like completely brand new shits, and they'll probably never get sequels, or if they do, it'll be a long time, right? But that is the only way we're gonna get brand new fighting games, is if people like them actually try to make a brand new fighter, because these bigger companies are not gonna do it. Like I said, Capcom only makes 3 games. They make 4 games, I guess. They make
Street Fighter's kind of like the stepchild of the big Capcom games. Which,
yeah.
if you told me that they were gonna like cut off Street Fighter at some point, I would believe you.
Oh yeah, for
I think
sure.
it's kind of like dangling on the edge.
It's definitely the most money. It's like the money sink of all the children. It's like DMC was successful. Monster Hunter is widely successful now. Ever since they went with World, it's funny because when I played Monster Hunter before, it was pretty niche in overseas. But now when they made World, it's definitely got a foot now over here. And they also have Resident Evil, which has always been popular.
Yeah.
And obviously,
big to get Monster Hunter over here. It's actually really funny in hindsight.
What, Monster Hunter?
Yeah, they used to have to beg to get Capcom to localize it. Like, in fact, I think I read that they weren't even going to initially localize World. They were just going to like make it Japan only.
That's crazy, because you're right though, because I mean, to play these other Monster Hunter games, the older ones are like, oh my god, like Monster Hunter Ultimates, the Ultimate versions, I think they would pass like a year or two before we ever got them over here, and constantly we had to be like, please give us the Ultimate, please, or translate it or something, because I'm gonna have to buy it in Japanese. But World was like, the presentation and how it looks and the work they put in is so ridiculous that it could appeal to even the most casual people here in the West. So that's a game. You know what? That's actually a game to me. That what fighting game devs are trying to do. If they want to look at how to make a game more casual friendly while retaining the spirit of the game, that's what they need to look at. Because they eliminated a lot of things in Monster Hunter that were aggravating for no reason and didn't have to exist, and then improve the gameplay. So what can anyone complain about? Obviously, you can complain about it being easier, right? But if the hard part was the fucking annoying shit, that was just annoying for the sake of it being annoying, like healing in place, or like fucking flexing after healing, or fucking sharpening your weapon in place, unable to cancel, shit like that. If that's what you're mad about, come on now. Let's not pretend you didn't walk out the area and then fucking heal and then walk back in the area. Like, it's just an annoyance. It's not true difficulty. But fighting games could definitely copy that idea, where you want to make the same thing again, but you want to just get rid of things that would make people annoyed without compromising on the quality or what the game is supposed to be. Because as far as I'm concerned, Monster Hunter World is still a pure Monster Hunter game. And it doesn't derive from it in any way. The only argument that can be made is that the weapons, there may be some weapons that are just like too strong maybe, or like they're too easy compared to before, but that's not really a good argument, because it really just meant that the weapons were unwieldy or too simple. Because one I can think of is the bow and arrow, which is way stronger now, but it's not like the other one wasn't strong. It's just the bow before had no special animations of any kind. You just stood in place and shot. But now you have all these kind of extra things that are appealing to people to play if they want to play bow and arrow. So it's stronger now, and it's also more appealing, and there's more things to do with it. But technically, there's more skill involved. They added more stuff to do with the bow and arrow to make it more appealing. They didn't take away the bow and arrow. They didn't just get, man, we can't figure out the bow and arrow. Just get rid of it. They didn't do that shit. But yeah, I think Monster Hunter is like perfect for what people need to look at. Capcom needs to hold on to that series dearly because if I remember correctly, Monster Hunter Ultimate is what saved Capcom over. I think they like made such a huge profit of it that they were able to stay afloat. I can't remember what the fucking tale was for Monster Hunter Ultimate.
Monster Hunter in general has always been like their big cash money franchise, which is like the fact that they had to like get pushed to push it out of Japan is like so bizarre.
Yeah, it's crazy. This is our best game. Yeah, but the Westerners won't like it.
It's really weird. I guess they had it in their mind that Resident Evil was the Western game, so we don't have to worry about anything else. But it's still
it is though. Resident Evil is definitely the Western game. Just look at those movies, like the CGI movies.
Oh god,
those are definitely for us. Those are definitely for us. But Resident Evil was trash for like a good 4 or 5 years, so it bounced that back pretty good. It's funny because it bounced back. Resident Evil is another series that has taken completely different paths, right? Mm-hmm. So the first instance is the camera shot is static, and then you had 4, which is the first dynamic, like where you over the shoulder, and that one was the most popular one. They took a chance on that, right? Because they had always followed the over the shoulder shit, not over the shoulder, but static camera. But that turned out to be more appealing, and it's actually my favorite Resident Evil. Then they made 5. And they just ditched the horror completely for some reason. And that game was whatever. It's funny. That game sold like crazy too. But I think it's because of Resident Evil 4. 5, I don't really remember very fondly. It's just not very fun for me. Because they changed the whole formula of story-driven game that's like one continuous line to a bunch of missions. Because really, Resident Evil 5 is just a bunch of missions. The game is not linear in a way that you have to worry about what's happening. The mission completes and then you select the next mission, right? So I didn't enjoy that. But Resident Evil 6 was trash. There's nothing good to say about that. And then Resident Evil Raccoon City was trash. And then Resident Evil 7 came out, which is completely different. And it's really good. And then now Resident Evil 8 could come out. It's probably going to be really good too. So there's like so many instances of like changing the formula, being bad and then good, and just trying new shit, being bad and being good. Devil May Cry did the same thing. They had like 2 games back to back that were like double. I mean, they had like 2, 3 bad games. No, they had 2 bad games. I think I'll say 2. 2's fair. They had 2 bad games in the series, and then they made this new Devil May Cry, right? And everyone loves this one. They ditched the old. Yeah. They tried that new shit. That was supposed to be the new shit. Remember that revamp? Mm-hmm. That was supposed to be the new shit. People hated that shit. They went back to the old shit, but made it crispier. Top tier. So I don't know. It's hard to. It's really hard. It's speculative, right? This is all speculative shit. Like, there's really no way to know how good a reimagining can be. But I feel like when I look at the reimagining like titles with Capcom specifically, they seem to make the most bank when they stay close to what the game is supposed to be and then make adjustments to make things more fun, I guess. They're like, let's just make this more interesting. This will make people happy, but we'll keep the core. That's usually the best way to go about it. But fighting games don't have that. Fighting games, it seems like their only option is to just change a lot of the mechanics in the game because a fighting game is nothing but mechanics.
Yeah, I think a lot of that is probably because you got rotating talent and employees, and then once the person who made Street Fighter 4, 3, or whatever previous game you're talking about, now it's in my lap. I want to make my game with my signature. I want to do it my way, and I think that's just the natural kind of course.
Well, hopefully it's fighting games course time. Like, hopefully I hope all the fighting games get into the lap of someone who really wants to fucking make shit good. Because I feel like I can't tell if companies just follow each other's trends, because it just seems like ever since I guess Capcom really made the effort to make games more accessible, or they made the attempt to try anyway, that most fighting games also try to go this route of making games more accessible, quote unquote. And their way of doing it is by eliminating a lot of things that people like about fighting games, right? More nuances and shit. Now,
that's definitely aspects of that.
I just don't know. I don't want that. Like, I don't want it, obviously. But the problem is that they know that new players don't give a fuck. But if new players don't give a fuck, then it wouldn't have mattered if it was in there in the first place, right? It doesn't matter if it was as tough as the old fighting game. Most players just want to turn the game on and play someone online for an hour and then go get off, right? So that means to me their focus is just in the wrong place. Their focus needs to be on the net play instead of trying to reimagine these games from the ground up to make them more accessible. Because nothing's more accessible than rollback.
I was thinking of this morning about because people talk about what's getting new players in or casuals or whatever, and I think about what the average person would say when you talk about like the first favorite fighting game before they get competitive, and they never say stuff like, "Man, I had MK2 on the Sega Genesis, and I really loved how Liu Kang's 443 was just +5."
Yeah.
They go, it was fun to play, it felt great, had good music, good visuals. And like if you focus on that, I think you'll naturally pull people in as long as you market it. Because nobody's first memory is like, man, I'm so glad, when I picked up, whatever game on my Sega Saturn, viable in top tier competition. Nobody gives a shit about that. That's not what the average person's first memory of a fighting game is what's viable, what's good, the frames, anything like that. That's more of our niche community within a niche. But like if you want to appeal to the average person and get them like looking at it and possibly get them hooked in for later, that's the kind of thing you should focus on. Is like the look and feel and like just the overall presentation of it.
No, you're totally correct. You know why? Because when I think back to my favorite fighting game growing up when I was playing, it was CVS2. I hate CVS2 competitively. But growing up, I played that game constantly. You know why? Because it had like the best music, it had the most characters, and I had all these different grooves to play with, right? So I get to just fuck around, do bullshit, and I found it was just really why I like CVS2? And it's funny they got rid of the fighting games. Don't have this anymore for the most part. Luckily, BB Tag has it. Of all games, BB Tag has it, and I guess Dragon Ball to some extent. Dragon Ball is kind of not the same quality of it, but it's there. Yeah. It exists. But the character introductions, like the characters having character-specific intros versus each other, I thought that was the coolest shit ever. And CVS2 had a ton. And just that alone was enough to make me like CVS2 more than other fighters. Obviously, at the end of the day, I just picked Rock Howard and press jump around house, crouch around house. And then did Raging Storm when I could. And I practiced for the life of me to do fucking Neo Deadly Rave. I spent a lot of time trying to learn how to do that. And, but, that's just casual. That's casual gameplay. Like, that's just that. Those are the things that make people want to play fighting games. And that was enough for me to become a fucking hardcore fighting game guy. Obviously, I didn't play competitively until Street Fighter 4 in any capacity and near the end of its lifespan. But what made me buy fighting games constantly was stuff like that. I just look for things like that. Just like, hey, this is cool. Well, this character does this. That's cool. All right, well, this is fun. I'll play the arcade or whatever. But, damn well if I had online, though, I would have played online.
Yeah.
Because I'm going way back. I'm PS2 era, right? So if it was like that 360 era and I got CVS2 and I didn't have NetPlay, I would be pretty pissed. I would never play it. But for the most part, the things that capture people's attention are not really mechanics. So them making mechanics geared to new players is like, if they're gonna rage about some dumb shit, they're gonna rage about some dumb shit. Like there's nothing you can do about it. No matter how many bursts you make, I can't throw. No matter how many DPs you get rid of throw. No matter how many DPs you nerf, No matter how many bursts you make, I can't throw. No matter how many crush counters you fucking make it so they can kill me. No matter how many V triggers you put in. No matter how much fucking rage arcs you put in. No matter how many hop kicks you put in this fucking game. No matter how many all this bullshit you put in to make new players happy or make them feel like they're like playing, they still gonna get pissed when I throw 5 hot tokens in a row. And that's just the truth. So it just seems like a wasted effort. It's like they just need to stop making these games like this and improve and just make it so these guys can play these fucking games online. That's what they need to do. They need to put more content in these games. As funny as it sounds, I make fun of the SNK guys because they're talking about like, I'm just here to find out what Kyle does to Iori. Like that, I don't care about the rollback. Shut up about rollback. You know, those guys, they pay the checks at the end of the day. And in reality, if SNK wants their money, they need to make it so that there's rollback so they can play the game longer and so that there's actually real content in their story mode, right? Not this, we're past this 5-second exit scene where there's 6 lines of dialogue. We're past that shit. You need to have a real story mode like Guilty Gear. Guilty Gear has a real story mode. You need to have something. These people are invested in these characters. They just want to see the lore. And they just seem to be missing the mark. They look at this, how do we keep new players? I know. Chop it up. Chop up the game. We chopping it up. All right. All that's left is people hate invincible moves. Okay, get rid of invincible moves. People hate chip damage. Get rid of chip damage. Let's see. What else is the Scrub 454 is complaining about online? He doesn't like when people win. All right. Combat mechanics. Combat mechanics.
This guy.
It's the truth, though. That's really what it is. And they just need to give Scrub 454 Angel's cinematic cutscene. That's all they need to do. That's all they need to do. But they don't want to do that. They'd rather fucking release a new game, reinvent the wheel, and then make it, and be wondering why the game don't fucking feel good. They don't like the game. Well, you kind of chopped up everything that people like about your franchise. Well, you know, we just want to make more players happy. Well, you didn't. All you did was make people who like your game unhappy. And the people who are going to buy it anyway, they don't know the difference. So, fucking, to them, the game is the same. And you should have just put 10 more hours of story mode in. Or some kind of costumes or skins. These guys probably just want skins. I think it's a missed opportunity that we don't have skins in our fucking games. Like SNK don't got no skins.
Well, they did, but they didn't want us to have them.
Yeah, they did. Japan exclusive skins.
I think they're in the PC version now, but yeah, they didn't let us have them shits.
I don't think the PC version had them.
No, not the PC version, but the
the fucking the
Xbox.
Yeah,
Xbox Series X one.
For some reason. But yeah, man, that's really what it need to come down to. I feel like the conversations always come back to this, but since we're talking about Guilty Gear, it's obviously going to come back to this because that's the fundamental design of this game, right? It is what like Dragon Ball was that way, right? But Dragon Ball is a brand new game, so you can give that a pass because it's brand new everything. They can do whatever the fuck they want. If the game is easier or less easy, there's no way to say that because there was no prior one before this one. They just did it from scratch. But if they make the next one and they remove, I don't know, Dragon Rush and make it so that
oh man,
I hate getting thrown online. This guy hates getting thrown online, guys. Get rid of Dragon Rush. Like if they do that shit and then the next game they don't have it, the guy's gonna be like, "What the fuck? Why?" And the guys that never play it, they're gonna be like, "Yeah, I love Dragon Ball." And they'll never even think about that shit like that. And they just remove something that people like for no reason. Like it just doesn't make sense. But that's pretty much everything in the dev notes. I don't really have anything else to tie into this for the most part. Yeah. So that's the end of the podcast. But
held me hostage for 3 hours.
Damn. I didn't realize it was 3 hours. I was supposed to fucking play more Dark Souls. But, alright, man. Appreciate you coming here again.
Appreciate you inviting me, man.
And tolerating my fucking rant on throwing verse as extended
Those
as
good
that.
times.
Oh yeah, don't worry, it's in the archives now that you are a verse sympathizer. But all right, y'all, we ended this. I'll catch y'all next time.
All right. Peace.